lefty, and Derek McKee, 6'10". Here's the tap. Controlled at midcourt. Off it goes to the far side. Looked like McDaniels was in the sprint after it, but I'm not sure he knew who it had gone off of last. The Bucks will take it as Robertson will bring it inbounds to Jack Sikma. Sikma, good passer. Blair's pass over here to the near wing to Jay Humphries. Humphries off the Sikma screen, pulls up. Wants to give it back to Jack in the low blocks. Fronted by McMillan on a switch. Out it comes to Robertson. Head of the key over to Humphries. Pump fakes. Rocks by Cage into the lane. Nice give to Robertson. Up with the left hand over McKee. It goes. Alvin Robertson is a good player in the paint. He averages 6 rebounds per ball game. That's second on this ball club. Ellis with the ball near point. Skips it low with the sidearm to McKee. Nice play. Got by Roberts on the inline. Stops. 5-footer over. Freddie won't go. It's short. And Roberts clears the rebound. 2-0 score. Bucks on top early. Sikma over to the far flank to T-Bird. Tony Brown to Humphries. Head of the key. His shot blocked by McMillan. Picked up in the lane by Ellis. Here come the Sonics. Sonics will try to push it up tonight as McMillan roams down the far sideline, but slowed as the Bucks fill the lane. On top it comes to the trailer Ellis. Fakes right, moves left on Tony Brown. Over it goes to McKee beyond the 3-point mark. 11 on the shot clock as McKee twists outside. Skips it over to McMillan. Nice entry pass low to X. Swivels. Fires. This one in and out. Rebound covered by Sikma. Here come the Bucks. Robertson will push it up the floor. Sprints into the lane with a crossover dribble. Trying to get to Robertson. Threw it out of bounds.
Well, that's one of the things that can happen sometime with this team. Del Harris doesn't particularly like this team to do a lot of pushing of the ball. They'll take the breaks when they're there. That time they try to force something that wasn't available.
Here come the Sonics. McMillan with it on top to Ellis. Fakes right, moves left. Skips by Robertson. By Sikma. Draws a foul. Jack Sikma reached in for the foul.
And Jack made a mistake defensively that time, Kevin. He did not step in to help on that penetration move on the part of Dale Ellis, and that cost him as he had to reach in and play defense with his hands and arms rather than moving his feet.
Dale Ellis, whose shooting statistics are skewed, obviously, due to the poor shooting night against the Sacramento Kings when he was 3 of 18. Against the Milwaukee Bucks last year, he was 2 of 16. But he figures to get it going here tonight after he played only 28 minutes and the Sonics went over the Charlotte Hornets a couple of nights ago.
Even the great players are going to have 8 to 10 games where the offense just doesn't work for them. And that's the nights that you have to go out there and try to do something else to help the ball club.
In the past, the matchups between Ellis and Robertson, an all-defensive first-teamer, have been quite good. But Ellis averaged 27 a game against San Antonio last year. Tony Brown with a long jumper out of the corner, missed it. Rebound covered by Ellis, who just hit the 2 free throws. We're tied at 2-all. McMillan pushes it low to McKee. Spins on the inline, up over Roberts. It goes short. Robertson clears his second rebound. Here comes Alvin. Alvin pulls up out here to the near side to Sikma. Diagonal pass deep to the corner to Brown. Sets up in the same place he missed last time down the floor. He missed this shot. Robertson had the rebound. It was tapped away in the inline by Michael Cage. Out of bounds off Michael's hands. It'll be Milwaukee basketball.
But Alvin Robertson did another great job of keeping that ball alive for the Milwaukee Bucks. He snuck inside, and he has to be screened off. An excellent rebounding guard.
2-2 the score. 2 minutes gone. First quarter play from the Bradley Center in Milwaukee. Robertson has it outside. He'll set the offense, giving to Sikma out wide. Covered by Cage. Try to pass inside. Stolen by McMillan. Breaks away with X-Man on his right flank. Skips to X. Glides to the glass. Stripped out of his hands by Robertson. Ball loose on the floor beneath the hoop. X jumps on Robertson. Sikma falls in line. And we've got a jump ball.
Well, that's a tough break for the Sonics that time because that was great defense by McMillan to come up with the steal. He made a super pass to get the ball to the X-Man, but then Robertson with those quick hands of his. Remember, this is a guy that was Defensive Player of the Year a few years ago in the NBA, and he showed you why on that one.
Xavier McDaniel will head to the jump circle opposite 7 feet. Jack Sikma. X trying to get the early jump, but Sikma beats him there to the apex and flaps it over there to Roberts. Here come the Bucks.
Still a little life left in those legs of Sikma.
2-2 the score. 9:45 to go first quarter. Yeah, Humphries with the ball outside. Over it goes to Sikma. Good passing center. Drops it low to Tony Brown. Clears out. Hands to Robertson. Long jumper. 15-footer skips off. Cage has Roberts all over him. Just clinging to his right arm as he has the controlled tap, and the foul is called on the Milwaukee Bucks.
Now, hopefully, the statisticians here will give that rebound to Michael Cage because he had possession of him. The foul was called. A lot of times they can give that as a team rebound, but Michael deserved that rebound.
Jay Humphries given the foul. That's his first. 2-2 the score. Second team foul on the Bucks. 9.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. McMillan brings the ball to the near side. Skips it low to McKee. Immediately turns, swivels, 0 for 3. Missed the shot. Comes off to the weak side. Ellis with a rebound. Puts it out on top to McDaniel. He works into the key. Jump passes to McMillan near side. Pumps and passes on the inline to X. Broken up. Out of bounds. Good play by Sikma to anticipate. Sonic basketball off Sikma's hands. 2-2 the score. McMillan will get it inbounds to McKee. Back to Nate. Runs to the glass. Rolls it up. No foul as he collided with Sikma inside. Missed the shot. McDaniel the rebound. He'll challenge Sikma. Goes up. Misses the shot. Cage has the rebound. Stripped out of his hands and controlled by Robertson. Here comes Alvin across midcourt. Well, the Sonics had 3 offensive opportunities there and just could not cash in. Sigma with it. Down low to Roberts. Spins on McKee, stripped out of his hands. Good play by Derek.
I tell you, Fisher's allowing a lot of reaching in and a lot of banging and without the whistle blowing. And that does not bode well if you don't establish a defensive concept early in the ball game. You can get a little bit too aggressive.
Roberts gets it inbound to Sigma. The ball is slapped out of his hands as he tries to go airborne, and they're going to call a foul on Michael Cage. That will be the first on Cage. He'll be shooting foul. And here comes Jack Sigma, who is an excellent free throw shooter. He led the NBA 2 years ago.
Yeah, in fact, Jack's become a great long-distance shooter. I always felt the three-point shot was out of his range, but after last year, I had to reevaluate that. He knocked him in with pretty good proficiency for a big man.
Second last year, free throw shooting, 90%. Here's why. He goes into a sort of a spell there. He collects himself, concentrates.
Well, the good free throw shooters, if you watch them, have a routine. I mean, you do it the same way every time. I mean, you take the same number of bounces, you hold the ball in the same position. At least that's what I found with most of the good ones. Jack seems to have his routine down very effectively.
The Bucks lead it 3-2. Sigma's second toss up and good. 8:52 to go first quarter. Here come the Sonics, who have yet to score a field goal. They're building across midcourt. Bending off Humphries with a straight arm over to Ellis. Bobbled the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, Dale took his eye off the ball. He thought he had it, and he was looking to see where the defender was before it was actually in his hands, and lost the handle.
Watch the action down low the next time the Sonics bring it up the floor and see Robertson find his way through those screens set on the inline to free Dale Ellis. Robertson does it so well. Alvin handling the ball on top to Humphries. Good overplay by McKee to deflect it out of bounds.
Well, right now, I think the Sonics are playing good defense. They're disrupting the Bucks somewhat. The Bucks have not been able to get the type of shots they would necessarily like, but the Sonics have just been ineffectual offensively themselves. Missed a lot of easy shots.
Sonics 0 for 7. Here comes Humphries. Runs to the glass with an underhand finger roll. The ball is tapped out of bounds, and Humphries goes to the floor. No foul called. It simply will be Milwaukee basketball.
Well, again, the first man was beaten defensively, but there was help inside coming from the weak side, and that's what defense is all about from a team concept.
Roberts will bring it inbounds on the inline. On top, headed to Keita Brown, who measures the ball. Here's the cast. It's up. It rolls around. It falls.
I guarantee if it weren't for collapsible rims, that ball never goes in with a normal rim.
I agree. 6-2, the score. Sonics trail. Ellis quickly down the floor. Dumps it low to McKee. Double team. Nice give there to McMillan. Twist by Brown. Goes to the glass. Rolls it up, and this one won't go. Oh, my. Humphries breaks the other way. Pulls up left of the lane. Over to Brown. Out of the wing. Jumper away. Banker won't go. Ellis the rebound. 6-2 the score. 7:59 to go first quarter. Sonics have yet to score a field goal. Ellis is tripped up out there. Brown and Humphries converge on him, and then Dale diving for the ball after they got free, went out of bounds.
Well, you know, right now, the Sonics, they look like they're shooting horribly, but they have just missed easy shots. It's not like their outside shooting is leaving and they're taking a lot of them. I guarantee you, they keep getting those kind of shots, Kevin, they'll win this basketball game.
And they've had a number of putbacks as well on the offensive glass. They've been busy. Everybody crashing the glass.
And the defense is keeping them in. They've only given up 6 points.
6-2 the score, 7:46 to go first quarter. Humphries with the ball on top. High post left of the lane to Roberts. Fakes the give to Humphries. Turns right of the key. Squares. 18-footer in and out for Roberts. Here comes Cage on the inline. A nice control tip. Great jumping outlet pass to Ellis, who walks to the open floor.
Boy, Dale looks like he may be having one of those games where he can't get things going. He's turned the ball over a couple of times, tripped and knocked it out. He mishandled the ball down here, and now he traveled. So 3 turnovers for Dale Ellis, who's going to have to just concentrate a little bit more and not be quite so anxious and wait until he gets the ball before he starts to do something.
Bucks lead it 6-2. 7.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. With Rick Berry, this is Kevin Calabro at the Bradley Center in Milwaukee. The Bucks lead it. Here's big Jack Sigma left of the lane. Hands off to Ricky Pierce down the lineup. Pierce tried to pass low to Robertson, but was detained inside by Ellis. The ball went flying over his head out of bounds. It'll be Sonic basketball. Pierce, a tough character, 6'4", 210 out of Rice. Here's Ellis, long jump shot off the back iron. Cage with a beautiful tap out of the hands of Sigma. Controls it deep in the far corner. Out on top to McMillan. Sonic regroup with 20 on the shot clock. Ellis left of the lane, double team. Swings it back outside. Dale picks up his dribble, and Robertson's all over it. Out here at the near point, Dale unloads to McMillan, 11 on the shot clock. Low it goes to X. Running by Pierce, he spins 5 into the lane. He goes and missed a 5-footer. He just simply missed it short.
He was even closer than that, Kevin. I tell you, the Sonics are just snake bitten right now.
Back up the Bucks. Pierce out of the wing. He nails it.
They got to try to go into Michael Cage, I think, a little bit. Michael hasn't had the ball, and he's been the most consistent Sonic so far this season.
And Michael Cage is an excellent shooter as well, 55%. 22nd timeout called on the floor by our officials here tonight. 8-2 the scores. The Bucks lead it with 6:45 to go in the first quarter play. The Sonics, Rick, are 0 for 10, and it's just been a case of missing those easy shots inside.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about the Sonics, though. They're not quitting defensively. If it weren't for their defense, the way they're shooting the ball right now, they could be in serious trouble. Only being down 6 and scoring 2 points in the first 5 minutes, 15 seconds, they're very fortunate.
Fans, if you're anxious to see Michael Jordan and the Bulls when they face the Sonics in Seattle on November 18th, and you don't already have a ticket, there is still hope. Ticket packages are available right now. Sonic representatives are waiting for your call at 206-281-5800.
And I'll tell you one thing, if there's ever a guy worth paying whatever price to go in and see him play, it's Michael Jordan. The guy is phenomenal.
Well, we'll get a good close look at him Saturday, won't we, when the Sonics take on the Chicago Bulls. You know, the Sonics have done an excellent job of containing Jordan. They held him to an average of 19 points a game last year. The doggone problem is that the rest of that Chicago Bull ball club is so good. People like Scottie Pippen, and of course now the addition of Stacey King. It's going to be a team to be reckoned with for many, many years in this league.
I remind everybody that this copyright program is presented by the authority of the NBA and the Seattle Supersonics and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience, and any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written permission of the NBA, the Seattle Supersonics, and Prime Sports Northwest is prohibited.
Get them in there.
Well, we throw Cairo in there, too. Why not, right?
Yeah, we'll have a number of telecasts on both Prime Sports Northwest and on Cairo Television as well. Tonight, we're live on the simulcast from the Bradley Center in Milwaukee. Del Harris was a little upset after the ball club. Milwaukee Bucks defeated the Boston Celtics a couple of nights ago because this is an 18,000-seat arena they had for the opening night game. 15,000 here in Milwaukee. It's a team that has changed a great deal.
Well, you know, and I tell you that they were very disappointed about that, Kevin. And I talked to Bill King, their PR director, and he said that a lot of people thought the game was sold out, and it wasn't. And so a lot of people didn't call up and get the tickets. They were shocked when they found out that they had 3,000 seats available.
Brand new arena here in Milwaukee. They opened it last year. It's just a gorgeous facility. The Sonics come back to the floor. They changed to 20 apparently to a full timeout. So the Sonics will break out with Xavier McDaniel, Derek McKee, Nate McMillan, Dale Ellis, and Michael Cage. Cage has only attempted one shot. McDaniel's 0 for 3. McKee is 0 for 3. And Ellis 0 for 1. And that was a three-point shot. Sonics bring it inbounds. Ricky Pierce in the lineup along with Humphreys, Roberts, and now Randy Brewer, the big kid out of Minnesota who's played so well. Here they are going. McMillan with the ball at the far side. Spins down low to X. Quick pivot. Hits into the lane. Rolls one up on a reverse and is fouled. And Xavier McDaniel heads to the line.
Again, to take the positive out of what has been negative with the shooting of the Sonics, they're still getting those type of shots. They're getting into the basket, Kevin. And if you get those type of shots, eventually the percentage is going to go up, and you're going to win a lot of basketball games. It's when you're shooting those type of percentages 0 for 10 and you're shooting 18-footers all night long that you really have a problem.
8-4 the score. The Bucks lead the Sonics. McDaniel to the line. Got it. X now 6 of 8 for the year from the free throw line. Remember, he shot better than 80% of the preseason, which was a big improvement for him over a year ago. 8-5 the score. 6:24 to go first quarter. Sonics in the Bucks. Humphreys on top. Over to Roberts at far side. Down low to Roberts. Open for the baseline shot over Cage. Missed it. Nice rebound inside. McKee had rebound on the taller Brewer. Back come the Sonics. McMillan ahead to X in the open floor. Jab step. Robertson holds his ground. Down low to Cage. Swings up the left-hand fading hook of 10. Missed it. Brewer the rebound. Crowd says Brew. 7-3, 258. Humphreys angles down the near side. And reaching in is McMillan, and Humphreys responds in kind with a hand check, and they call an offensive foul on Jay.
Well, they were saying that the check by McMillan was not anything impeding his progress, it was just a touch, and that Humphreys overreacted to it.
That is the second foul on Jay Humphreys. McMillan angles over to the far side, on top to Ellis. Back to McMillan, far flank. 15 on the shot clock. 8-5 to score. In the early going, the Bucks lead it. McMillan skips it low to McDaniel. Bobbled it, picks it up. Now he's triple team. Dribbles out of pressure. 7 on the shot clock. X standing beyond the three-point mark in a holding pattern. Now backs down. Trips. Ball lost. On the floor. McDaniel tied up by Pierce. Ricky did him a favor.
He sure did, because that would have been the Bucks' ball, because you heard that horn in the background was the 24-second clock going off, and had he not tied him up, it would have expired. So now we get a chance, and the X-Men should be able to control the tip. Whether the Sonics get it or not remains to be seen.
Pierce 6'4", X 6'6 and a half. Pierce leading this ball club in scoring with 28 points per ball game. Here's the toss, and Pierce for some reason didn't go up. Next with the control tap to McMillan. Over to Ellis. He nailed the long jumper out of the far wing. Dale now with 4 points, 1 of 2 from the field. Now the Sonics are going a bit. 8-7 to score, 5:20 to go first quarter. The Bucks lead it. And Gerald Henderson, the ex-Sonic, getting set to come in. Roberts is down low to Roberts. Rolls to the glass, lays it up and in. Roberts with his first couple. Back come the Sonics. McMillan quickly head to X. Bucks fill the lane. McDaniel steps by Pierce. Delivers a skip pass to McKee. Turns on a baseline jumper and nailed it.
Again, they're getting shots close to the basket, Kevin, and eventually they're going to start dropping, which they obviously have. The last three of the last 4 have gone in.
Bucks lead at 10-9. Ball on top. Left-hand side of the key is Humphries. Moves diagonally. Works off the Brewer screen. McMillan wiped out on a switch. Cage now covering Humphries. They give it to Pierce. Down low to Brewer. Uses 6'5" McMillan in the lane. His hook is off the mark, but McMillan fouled him sufficiently enough that Brewer will have to earn him from the line now.
Well, that time they had a little switching going on there with their defense, which the Sonics would do a great deal of, and wisely the Bucks took advantage of the mismatch and threw the pass into Brewer. However, I would have liked to have seen, if I were Del Harris, a much higher pass to the tall Brewer, because Nate almost got his hand on that ball before Brewer received it.
That's a good point. McMillan checks out. 3 will come in. Nate checks out with the 1 foul. Brewer misses the free throw. Bucks from the line 2 of 3. Sonics 3 of 3. 10-9 the score. 4:44 to go first quarter. Brewer's second one up. And this one rolls up and in. Sonics will bring it the other way. Gerald Henderson now in the lineup. Guarding Sedale 3. Reed across midcourt. Reed looking for Ellis coming off the X-Man screen. Covered by Pierce, not open. Reed on top. Over to McKee, far flank. Covered by Roberts. Skips a low to Cage. Cage turns on Brewer. Cage definitely the quicker of the 2. Jump fakes. Gets by Brewer. Skips up there. 10-footer that rolls off. McDaniel ties up Brewer for the rebound. And we've got a foul. David McDaniel.
Well, not a smart play that time by the X-Man, because Brewer had the ball way above his head, and there's no way you're going to tie a 7-footer up with the ball above his head. Unfortunately, that time, I think Michael Cage took advantage with his quickness of Brewer, but he did the hard part. He got Brewer out of position, and he just rushed his shot a little bit.
11-9 the score. 4:23 to go first quarter. Ben Coleman checks into the lineup for Fred Roberts. Coleman played for Philadelphia a year ago, and he had a season high last year. 11 rebounds. Remember that offensive showing he had in the first quarter? The Sonics lost at the Spectrum last year. He was awesome. 6'9", 225. Here comes Pierce to the end line. Dribbled it right out of bounds into the guard of McKee and Ellis. Good play. For the Bucks, that is their 5th turnover here in the first quarter of play. Back come the Sonics. Next to the end line. Challenges Coleman. Fouled by Coleman, who spanked it out of bounds.
Now, Coleman made a good play defensively to come over and help out. Made a good block, but he caught X with his body.
11-9 the score. The Bucks lead here by 2. 4:03 to go in the first quarter of play. X-Man, who is 1 for 1 from the stripe here tonight. Heads up there with a toss that goes up. Skips off the front iron and in. McDaniel with 4 here in the ball game. He got his shooting eye back against Charlotte. 11 of 17 from the field after that night that he would want to forget. Saturday in Sacramento, 2 for 11 from the field. Here's his second shot up. It is good. McDaniel with 5 in the ball game, and we're tied at 11 all now after the Sonics got off to that over 9 start. 3:58 to go first quarter. Henderson across midcourt is pushed by Threet sufficiently enough that he did change his direction. And Threet with a foul. That is his first. That was an 0 for 10 start.
Yeah, and quickly it's changing, and it has to. They were just getting too good of shots for it to stay that horrendous.
Brad Sellers checks into the lineup as X picks up a foul. Threet just picking up the foul, giving it to the Bucks coming in. Here's Brewer with a nice sweeping left-hand hook on the end line. Brewer with 3. Back comes Threet, pushing it up the floor. Pulls up from 16. Missed the shot. Rebound Alvin Robertson. Robertson out ahead to the breaking Henderson off the far wing, but slowed and turned by Threet. Brad Sellers in the lineup for Xavier McDaniel now. Trailing Pierce as Pierce gets the ball out high, head of the key. Pierce off the Brewer screen. Oh, he's wide open. There was no switch. Pierce pulls up and nails the 17-footer. Cage simply did not get there in time.
This Cage is way back in the middle. You got to be up on the man setting the screen, especially when they're going against Ricky Pierce.
15-11 to score. McKee barges his way left of the lane, and Coleman reaches in and fouls him. Second foul, quick foul on Ben Coleman.
Second personal over the limit. The Sonics are now in the penalty.
The Bucks are over the limit. The Sonics now in the penalty with 3:16 to go in the first quarter. Sonics are at the limit. The Bucks lead it 15-11, and Derek McKee to the stripe. And it goes.
One thing Derek's doing, noticing his shot, even on his free throw, that first attempt, Derek has got to get a little more arc on the ball. He shoots the ball a little bit flat, and that's going to cause you to be a bit consistent with your shooting because you basically take away the first third of the basket on the flat shot. The ball has no chance to go in that first third. So he just needs to get his arm going up towards the basket a little bit more. He shoots too much at the hoop instead of up to it.
Jeff Grayer, the former Olympian out of Iowa State, now in his second year in the lineup as Alvin Robertson goes to Del Harris's bench. Sonics pressure full court. We saw them do this against Charlotte the other night, and in limited times in the second half against Sacramento. The comeback. 15-13 the score. The Bucks lead it. 3:01 to go first quarter. Grayer handling the ball out high. Grayer comes over to Pierce. They open up the floor for him. He swings off a Brewer screen on a switch. McKee on Pierce. Slides left of the lane. Tried to give off. His pass broken up by McKee. The ball went out of bounds, but the clock had expired, and the Sonics take it on yet another Bucks turnover. They've got a half dozen in the first quarter.
And that should have Bernie Bickerstaff's staff smiling, Kevin, because that was outstanding defense for a full 24 seconds. Very quickly, Kevin, let's remind the Sonic fans out there this year they can win a brand new Jeep Eagle by entering the halftime hoop shoot contest at your Puget Sound Jeep Eagle dealers. Win a new Jeep Eagle. Someone will win it. Nice vehicle.
Shooting percentages, Sonics 3 of 16, 18%. Milwaukee 6 of 13, 46%. The Sonics are 7 of 7 at the line. The Bucks are 3 for 4. 15-13 the score. The Bucks lead with 2:41 to go in the first quarter, and here come the Sonics. 3 over to Sellers, back to Sedale. Over to Ellis, coming off the screen, set by Cage. Long jump shot, missed it. Dale 1 of 3.
Could have dropped that one off to Michael Cage. He had 2 men coming at him. Michael would have had it done.
Back comes Gerald Henderson, skipping over to the near flank, covered by 3. On top it comes to Jeff Grayer. Grayer looking low for Pierce, but fronted by Sellers, not open. Grayer slides diagonally off to the far side, works off a Brewer high post screen, gives to Brewer on the pick and roll, but he blew a 12-footer left of the lane. Now they scramble for the rebound, and Brewer goes to the floor for some floor burners, and is tied up by McKee for the jump ball.
Well, both teams a bit ragged as far as the ball handling concerned.
The Milwaukee Bucks are not a good rebounding team this year. Remember last year they had, when getting 45 or more rebounds per game, they were 22-2. Brewers, their leading rebounder. And on this jump ball, he's out jumped. Here come the Sonics. 3 to the breaking Ellis. Jumps and steps by Gerald Henderson. Draws a foul, but the lay-in will not go. Foul called on Henderson, and Ellis will head to the line.
Well, again, the Sonics are really getting the up-tempo type of play that Murray would like to create early offensive opportunities, and that time it paid off with Dale getting a chance to knock in a couple of free throws.
Dale Ellis to the stripe, 2 for 2. 0 for making 1 of 3 from the field. This shot is up, and he missed it. So the Sonics run of 7 straight free throws broken there on the Ellis miss. 7 of 8 are the Sonics. Free throws keeping him in here early. Free throws and defense at the 2:05 mark of the first quarter.
And the reason they're getting to the line is they're getting to the basket. When you get to the basket, you get to the line more often.
Dale hits the free throw, and here come the Milwaukee Bucks under full court pressure applied by 3. Back there to Shadow Henderson. Slow him down. Work the clock. 17 on the shot clock as Henderson just now gets in a position to set his offense. On top it comes to Coleman with 11 on the shot clock. Down low to Brewer. On a backdoor lob, trying to swing it inside to Coleman. Broken up, I believe, by Cage and controlled by Brad Sellers. 15-14, Sonics with a chance to take the lead. Here's a lob pass. Cage wide open on the baseline. 12-footer, rolls short. Follow, left-handed tap by McKee is off the mark. They call a foul, as Brewer apparently cleared him out to foul him, and McKee will go to the line for 2. And as he does, let's take 10 seconds for timeout. Station ID on the radio network on the Seattle Supersonic Broadcasting Network. Derek McKee now heading to the stripe, 86% on the year for the Seattle Supersonics. He's the leading percentage man from the line for Seattle. Derek McKee's first toss is up, and it is off the mark. Sonics now from the line are 8 of 10. Had an excellent game against the Charlotte Hornets. 21 points, 8 rebounds a couple of nights ago. Sonics will send Cage over to the bench. In will come Olden Polynice. 15-14. Sonics trail with 1:37 to go in the first quarter. McKee's shot is up. It is good.
Again, though, it's really flat. That's something he just needs to work on. It's not a big change. He can do that very easily.
He is 1 of 4 from the field, and he is 3 of 4 from the line. Here comes Henderson taking it right up into the lane. But again, a good defensive play by McKee, who just reached in and just poked the ball enough that it went off his hand and out of bounds. It'll be Milwaukee basketball. McKee, a very deceptive defensive player. His movement is so quick. Coleman gets the ball and bounce to Grayer. On top to Pierce. He'll fire a long 3. He nailed it. They're going to give him 2? Yep, 2 points. He was standing on the line. Pierce now with 6 points on 3 of 3 shooting. He's their leading scorer, as we mentioned. 28 points per game. Brink to the ball. Dumps it over deep to the far corner. McKee with it. Stutter steps. Works on Coleman. Backs it out on top. Giving to Sellers. Head of the key. Sellers over the 3 near side. 3 looking low for X. Fronted by Greer. Not open. On top it comes to McKee with 4 on the shot clock. Long jump shot. Skips off. Long rebound taken by Henderson. Out ahead to Jeff Greer. Runs the wing. Pulls up. Sellers. Long jump shot. Not there. Rebound. Xavier McDaniel. Green shirts field the lane. 17-15. Sonics with a chance to tie it here. 47 seconds remaining. First quarter play. Sellers looking low for McKee. Gives it to Derek. Pivots. Works on Coleman to the end line. Did he step on the line? He did. Bernie Fryer said.
And right now the Sonics not executing very well offensively. A bit tentative with the ball. Guys are open. They're not making the pass when the guys are open. And they've got to do a better job of if they expect to win this game.
38 seconds remaining in the first quarter. 17-15 to score. Bucks lead. Bucks leather. Greer with it. Heading out to Gerald Henderson with 12 on the shot clock. 27 seconds on the game clock. Henderson with a nice reverse pivot. Gets by a feet. Into the lane he comes. But laid the finger roll up short. Polonese clears the rebound. Out to 3. Long lead pass to McDaniel. Breaks in on a 2-on-2. Backs down on Greer. Baseline fader. Good. Xavier McDaniel. X-Man down with 7. And he's got it going. He's hit his last 2 after an 0-for-3 start. Henderson in backcourt. Hassled by 3. But manages to sprint by him now into forecourt left. Works off the Brewer screen. Pumps it over to Greer. Open out of the wing. Won't take the shot. The foul off the ball. It's down low. It's on a Sonic. And it will be on Brad Sellers. 17 all the score with 5 seconds remaining in the first third of play.
Now X made that jump shot down there, which was good, but it really wasn't like a breakaway and an easy layup. It was a tough shot. With the shot clock and the game clock the way it was, the Sonics could have played for the last shot, not giving Milwaukee an opportunity to get the ball back in the hands. As it turned out, at least they'll get 5 seconds, 5.2 seconds with that new rule on the 10 seconds showing to perhaps score again. But sometimes it's much better to go ahead and just play for the last shot, though, and give the opponents a chance to get the ball back.
Dana Barros now in the lineup for the Sonics. 3 goes to the bench. Pierce hit his first free throw. Second one up. It is good. Ricky Pierce with 8 points leading the Bucks in scoring. Sonics bring it up. Here comes Barros. Good 3-point shooter. Lightning quick. 3 seconds left in the first quarter. Jump shot away. He missed it short. That was the shot the Sonics wanted to get. And that ends a first quarter play that saw the Sonics get off to an 0-for-10 start from the field. Back in Milwaukee with Rick Barry, this is Kevin Calabro. 19-17 our score. And fan, keep in mind that the only way to see Michael Jordan and the Bulls on November 18th in Seattle is by purchasing a Sonic ticket package right now. Sonic representatives are waiting for your call at 206-281-5800. 206-281-5800. Back to action. McMillan skipping it low for X. Fronted by Sigma on the end line. And the Bucks bring the ball the other way. 6 turnover by the Sonics. The Bucks are up to 7 here in the game. 19-17 the score. Sigma wiped out down low off the ball. But I think they're going to call a shooting foul.
I think it's going to be an accident. No, Polonese. They call on Olin.
They did call it off the ball. Polonese clearing out Jack Sigma for the rebound. Boy, Jack came flying out of there like he had a rocket belt.
Well, Olin has a tendency to go ahead and make a lot of contact at times when it's not necessary, and overt contact at that. It's very obvious.
Half minute gone in the second quarter. Bucks lead it. Pierce on the inbound. Jabs right. Takes it left. Right by Ellis. To the glass. Banks it up and in. Ricky Pierce. Up to 10 points in the game. Back come the Sonics. Long lead pass to X. Breaks down off the wing on Pierce. Lays it up. Missed it. But was fouled by Ricky Pierce. And X now will head to the stripe.
Well, again, the Sonics able to get the ball up the court quickly, generating some early offensive opportunities, and that's been able to help keep them in the ball game. And when you shoot 19% and you're only trailing by 2 points at the end of the quarter, you got to feel real good. I mean, 4 for 21 is like a nightmare, but the Bucks were only 7 for 17. But they kept getting those good shots inside, even though they missed a lot. They did draw a lot of fouls, and when they were 9 or 11 from the free throw line, that helped keep them in the game.
71% for X, but that is a bit deceiving. Only 7 attempts coming into tonight's game. He had 5 of those. This free throw is up, and he missed it. Sonic free throw shooting, as well as defense, I felt in the first quarter, kept them in the game. Sonics were 9 of 11. The Bucks were 5 of 6. Keep in mind, the Bucks turned the ball over 7 times. Second free throw by X. He missed that one.
Well, they've gone downhill since they were 7 for 7.
Yes, they have. Brewer clears the rebound, and here come the Milwaukee Bucks. 11-14 to go, second quarter. 21-17, the Bucks lead. On top, into the key, Jay Humphrey. Looks right, takes it left. Covered by McMillan. Humphrey backs up now. Starts up. McMillan turns it. Humphrey slides it cross court. Sigma will fire a 3. This one bangs off. Rebound tracked to the corner by McDaniel. Overhead pass to McMillan. Clears midcourt. Pumps it to Ellis. Open on the wing. Off the Polonese screen to the baseline. He'll pull up. The jump shot and rattles around and falls in.
Again,
they all with 7.
Get the ball up the floor quickly, get a good opportunity, and they're doing a good job of exploiting the Bucks.
Dale's only attempted 4 shots. Here comes Ricky Pierce now, breaking by the Sonic defense, trying to reverse one left to right, but missed the shot. Rebound comes to Sellers, out to McMillan, over to McDaniel. He runs free left of the lane. Pierce catches him. Now McDaniel charges into the glass, rolls it up. It is good. He's fouled by Sigma, and X will head to the line.
3 consecutive times the Sonics have come down quickly on the transition, and that is it's killing the Bucks right now. Del Hash has to be very, very upset with the transition defense. Here we see it again, the good quick lead pass, and now a little hesitation move on the part of McDaniel. Now he's open. He overplayed to the left. Sigma tries to come over to help out, not cutting off the baseline, and an excellent move on the part of the X-Man. And that little hesitation just set things up, and when he saw the open court, he took it to the left. Nice move.
Second foul on Jack Sigma. And McDaniel to the line, where he missed the last 2, and he missed this one. Sigma comes away with a rebound. The Bucks have given the Sonics a number of advantages at the free throw line. 14 attempts for the Sonics. They've hit 9 of them. 21 all is our score. 10:21 to go. We're in the second quarter. Pierce with the ball, cross court to Robertson. Rocks right, takes it left, runs right into Polonese. Down on top to Pierce, over to Roberts, down on the Sigma. Step back jumper for 12, rolls off, but he was fouled.
Sonics.
Bill's first.
Right now, Kevin, if the Sonics continue to play this type of defense, I think they'll win this basketball game, because they're going to hit a hot streak offensively, and they'll be able to jump out to a nice lead, and the defense will win it for them. The defense has kept them in the game so far.
Jack Sigma to the line, 2 for 2 here in the ball game. His shot is up. It goes in.
You hear coaches professing that all the time. Come on, guys, it's defense. The defense will help us every night. That'd be consistent. I think you're seeing an example of that tonight, how it can really help keep you in a ball game.
Sigma came in 9 of 9 from the line, shooting 100%. That's this free throw to go. Sigma 4 for 4 from the line. 23-21, a 2-point Milwaukee lead. 2 minutes gone. We're in the second quarter at the Bradley Center. McMillan tries to toss it over to his wingman Sellers, but it's deflected off Humphrey's hands out of bounds. McMillan will bring it inbounds in front of Bernie Bickerstaff and the Sonic bench. McDaniel will take it leaping between the double circles. Covered by Pierce. Good matchup between those two. Over it goes to Ellis, breaking off the Polonese screen, and he nails a jumper on the open floor. Polonese gave him just enough time, wiping out Alvin Robertson, that he could get that shot off. Dale now up to 9 points in the ball game, and he's hit his last 2 shots.
And that's the kind of contact Olden needs to make to set up plays.
23 all to score. Pierce breaks into the lane, double teamed out to Robertson, open on the wing for the pop. Alvin now with 4. 25-23, Bucks by 2. 9.5 minutes to go. Ellis open from 3-point range off the far side. This cast is short. Long rebound fetched by Humphreys. Lead pass to Sigma. Robertson breaking with him. Sigma now will finger roll it to the glass and blew the lay-in. Robertson and Polonese battle for the rebound, and Olden had more fingers on it than did Robertson. Out of bounds it goes. It'll be Milwaukee ball.
Olden, a bit upset, felt that Robertson was all over his back on that one and pleaded to the official for the call, and obviously it wasn't answered.
25-23. The Bucks lead it by 2. 9:24 to go. Roberts gets it inbounds to Alvin Robertson near side. Mismatch. Polonese on Robertson. Alvin immediately takes him to the inline, smelling blood, and draws a foul. Second foul on Olden.
That's taking advantage of a mismatch situation. You get the big guy on the little one. They can't possibly stay with him out in the open court. Sigma wisely cleared out to open up the lane.
9:18 to go. Second period play. Bernie Bickerstaff had a much better time in Milwaukee this year than he did back on March the 10th. He was at Sinai Hospital here in Milwaukee with that bleeding ulcer. Robertson gets it over near side. Humphreys fakes right, moves left, pulls up 18-footer for Jay, rolls off a flat shot in the air, goes for Daniel and Roberts, and the ball is spun out of bounds. Bernie Fryer along with Joe Borgia, seeing it from 2 different points of view. It looked like to me that Roberts had spun the ball out of bounds, and Del Harris is hopping old-fashioned man.
Because what they first had done, Joe Borgia was signaling coming down this way, coming this way, and then he finally said, hey, he was over the back, and it really was over the back. Roberts definitely committed a foul there, and the Bucks shouldn't have complained. Oh, now a hold that time. Good call. They finally made the call. That was a hold. Humphreys held. That's why the ball was never caught. 2 good calls by the officials here. You don't expect to get those kind of calls necessarily on the road. The Sonics are very, very fortunate, but the call should have been made.
25-23, Bucks by 2. 9:04 to go, second quarter. Joe Borgia and Bernie Fryer get it sorted out, and the Sonics head the other way with a basketball. And Humphreys picks up his 3rd foul. That could hurt. McDaniel down low to Sellers. Backs, turns over Pierce. Oh, he had the shot, but he missed a 12-footer. It skips free. Ellis batting it away from Sigma into the hands of McMillan. On top to X, runs into the lane. Oh, right into the wall of Sigma. The ball is lost. McDaniel picks breaks it up and pops in a fadeaway jump shot. How about that? X with 11. And the Sonics, with Xavier McDaniel hitting his last 4, 2 here in the period, have tied it up at 25 all. 8.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Humphries with the ball out on high, gives over to Pierce, near side, pumps along to the shot. Nothing but net for Ricky Pierce. He has 12. Back come the Sonics. X breaks down the wing and is double teamed.
Boy, he turned his back that time, and Sellers is wide open.
Out to McMillan, back to X, cuts into the lane, gets the refeed from X, and is fouled. Make going to the air, drawing the foul inside. If that's on Sickman's number 3.
Well, they're going to call on Roberts. We'll watch again as Nate makes an outstanding move to get into the basket this time. See the pass down inside the X. The good cut. That's what Bernie wants to do. Now watch the sidestep. Boom, right there to get around Roberts. Jack was over. Jack makes the block. They call Roberts for the foul. No way. I mean, he didn't even touch him after that. That was a foul on Sigma, so that really helped the Bucks because Roberts didn't do anything after he was beaten. But what a great cut. And that's what Bernie had talked about in the shoot-around. When they kick it inside, if somebody comes and doubles, cut the basket, take advantage of it. And that time they did.
Sonics have superior quickness. That front line of the Bucks is not particularly mobile. McMillan hits both free throws and cashes in for the Sonics, who now pressure full court a bit. The guard's coming up. Ellis just shadowing Robertson as he hands off to Humphries at the 10-second line. 27-27. We're tied with 8:02 to go, second quarter. Jay Humphries pumps the ball. Left-hand side of the key over to Pierce. He's been good out of the lane. Makes the jumper. Improves his range with a 15-foot jumper. He nails. Pierce now up to 14 in the ball game. He has been hot. We'll get the numbers for you in a moment. Ellis steers the ball over to the near side. Pierce now 6 of 7 from the field. Wow. McMillan over to Cage. High post right of the lane down low. X beat his man backdoor. Pierce goes to the glass, is fouled, and will head to the stripe for 2. The shot just would not nestle in there.
Well, that's a good pass because the pass was thrown away from where the defender was, and X was able to make the spin move to the basket.
Alvin Robertson picks up the foul. That is his second foul. And McDaniel, who has struggled a bit from the line here, missed his last 3 after hitting his first 3. 3 of 6.
Another player for the Sonics, Brad Sellers, who missed that one shot that he had taken. He also shoots the ball flat. I think that just with a little bit of work and talking to it, you get these guys shooting the ball much better. They have good mechanics, and all they have to do is just go up with their arm as they go for their shot, and their shooting would improve dramatically.
You're talking about McKee 6 feet, Sellers at 7 feet. I would think it's tough for a guy that tall because obviously their arms are extended so high to shoot with a little arch on the ball.
Well, it would make it even better. I mean, it'd be almost impossible to block.
McDaniel with 13 points as he hits both these free throws, and Sonics and Bucks are again tied at 29 all. 7:29 to go, second quarter. Pierce with the ball in the corner. 6 of 7 from the field. With McKee all over him, the best Sonic defender. Pierce heads to the inline. Walks one up over McKee. The ball is off the mark. Robertson on the rebound. They're going to wipe out the putback basket by Robertson, and they're going to call a foul. Joe Borgia whistles a foul. And it will be on Alvin Robertson. That is his 3rd.
I'm surprised Del Harris isn't going to technical here. He's been very, very adamant. Look at 21, middle of your screen. Now watch the drive baseline. Now watch him sneak in here. Now McMillan screens off. He just knifes his way right in. Boom, bangs him. No question about it. It's a good call.
Sonics are again in the bonus, this time at the 7:18 minute of the mark of the second quarter of play.
There you saw it again from the low angle, but also on that play, you saw the reason the shot was missed. Derek McKee was the man who was on Pierce, and with those long arms, he forced Pierce to shoot the ball even higher than he wanted to, and he wasn't able to drop it in. Good call despite the boos from the crowd.
Sonics capitalize as McMillan comes the other way to hit the free throw. They've now 3 of 3 from the line, and the Sonics are 14 of 19 from the line as a team. Sonics have the lead, 30-29, 7:18 to go second quarter, and the Sonics are now in the bonus. Keep that in mind. Second free throw by McMillan missed. Loose ball foul. Sigma had it, and reaching in to handcuff him was McKee. Derek picks up his first.
Now that's 2 fouls that the Sonics should not be getting. Right. When a big man gets the ball and he's got it up high, don't try to reach it and knock it away. Derek got one like that, and so did the X-Man. You know, just those little subtle things can really help you.
Sonics lead it 30-29, due in large part to their free throw shooting, 14 of 20. Bucks, by contrast, are 7 of 8. Hey, they're the home team. Here's Humphries with the ball near side. Comes off a Sigma screen on a switch. Cage covering Humphries. Did it beautifully. Out to Pierce. Open for 3. He nailed it. Ricky Pierce, who can stop him? 17 for Pierce. He's only missed one shot. 32-30 the score. McMillan with the ball down low. Threads it through traffic to McKee. Covered by Roberts. Pirouettes. Heads to the inline. Gets by Roberts. Beats Sigma and rolls it in with a finger roll with the right hand. Lovely play by McKee. He's got 7. 32 all the score. 6:35 to go here in the second quarter of play. Back come the Milwaukee Bucks. With it, Jay Humphries, far away. Covered by McMillan. Pumps it on the low block to Sickler. Backstepping up shot of the pitch. Rolls off. Skying in for the rebound. McMillan was gliding by, but it came free to McKee, who glides across midcourt. Jumps ahead to Cage. Nice play in the open floor. He beat Pierce by putting it to the floor. That was a lovely play as Cage rolled it up and in with the left hand.
And right now the Sonics are playing the kind of basketball Bernie Bickerstaff wants them to play. Good tempo up and down the court. Good tough defense. Excellent job.
Cage with his first two. 6:03 to go in the second quarter. 34-32 Sonics lead. Pierce breaks into the lane. Got off balance. Stumbled to the floor. Threw it out of bounds. That hit Mike Dunleavy right in the numbers, but he's a coach. He's got shirt and tie on tonight. Timeout called on the floor. 34-32 the Sonics lead with 6 minutes remaining in the second period of play. Call now for your Sonics ticket package. Sonic representatives are standing by at 206-281-5800. Here come the Sonics up the floor. Sadeo Treat now in the lineup along with X-Man, Cage, McKee, and Ellis. Treat with it. Out on the near flank to McKee. Covered by Ben Coleman. McKee the quicker of the two. Jabs right. Takes it left to the inline. Double team. Dribbles out of it. Goes to the open man. It's Ellis. He fires. He hits.
Hey, Greer made a mistake that time. He came over to double McKee 18 feet from the basket. He's not a big threat out there. He left Ellis. They paid the price.
Ellis 3 for 4 from the field here in the second quarter play. Good rotation of the ball. Rick, you pointed the open man, too. Do that more often for him, will you? 36-32. The Sonics lead. 5:22 to go second quarter. Humphries skips by Cage. Left of the lane. Rolls in a wild running right-hander as he slanted off to his left side and was fouled. He'll go to the line with a chance at one.
Well, this time the good penetration move going to come off on the part of Humphries on the screen. Cage goes out to jump it, which is good defense. They try to fight through it. There he is, but the quickness was just too much there with the little body. You couldn't see on that angle. We had a perfect angle. It was an excellent call. There was body contact on the part of Cage. He did a nice job stepping out. Needed to be a half a step further to cut off the lane.
Second foul on Michael. Humphries. Free throws up. It is good. Jay Humphries down with 3 and a walk on the inbound pass. Oh, my. Sonic turnover. There's 7th.
But sometimes those lines in the court, you know, they just really trip you up a few times, you know, Kevin.
The other line will get you every time, huh? The paint must be, what, a couple inches high. 5:20 to go, second quarter. 36-35. Sonics lead the Bucks. Ball comes inbound. Let's see if the Bucks make the Sonics pay on the turnover. Sigma with a baseline left, covered by Cage. Backs him down. Sigma skips into the lane. Posting out to Spears. Turns over X. Fires and hits on a back away. Pierce down with 19. Wow. He had 35, a career high in the opener at Boston in the loss. Freet left to the lane to Ellis. Spins away from his man. Gets out here to McKee at the near side. Sonics working with 12 in the shot clock. Freet headed McKee over to McKee. Slashes into the lane. Up with the leading right hand. Blocked by Sigma. Controlled by Jack. Here come the Bucks. 37-36. Milwaukee leading. Sigma trailing beyond the three-point strike. Not this time. Gets it over to Pierce in the corner. On top. A flare pass out there to Humphries. Playing peekaboo with Freed on the Sigma screen. Trying to underhand the traffic. Stolen by X-Man. 4-on-1. Coleman back. X to Ellis to the glass. Lays it up. Get in there. It does. 13 for Dale. That nearly fell out of there. Back come the Bucks, but the Sonics quickly in a hurry head back into fill the lane defensively. Pierce is the only Buck in forecourt. 38-37. Sonics lead by 1. 4:16 to go second quarter. We've got an offensive foul down low as Ricky Pierce and Xavier McDaniel, Rick, were really battling inside.
Yeah, well, that was a situation where Pierce tried to get the position and then just knock the X-Man out of the way to establish himself, and official right on top of him made the call.
Brad Sellers will come in for the Sonics, and out will come Xavier McDaniel. The Sonics have rotated a number of people on Pierce tonight. McKee, McDaniel, and Sellers.
Big mismatch inside. Sellers should take him down, and they should notice that. Pierce can't guard him down low.
38-37. Here comes Street. Nice give and go action on the pick and roll. McKee with the left hand. It won't go, but Cage with a control tip. Takes it out to the far corner. Looks for help. Dumps it out to Sellers on the wing.
That's about 6 or 7 layups that the Sonics have missed already in this game.
McKee with it, head of the key. Over to Sellers, open. 18-footer. Good. Brad Sellers buried that one. First 2 for Brad. 40-37. Sonics by 3. 3:44 to go. We're in the second quarter. Jay Humphries on the floor with 3 fouls. Right-hand side of the key. Jeff Grayer. It goes to Sigma. Turns, fires, hits. Jack Sigma just kind of steps back and lets her go. He's an excellent shooter. He's got a half dozen for the game. Sonics lead is 1. Street angles over to the far side in front of his own bench. Dale is covered by Jay Humphries. Ellis breaks down on the inline. Picked up by Grayer on a switch. 3 down on top. Covered by Coleman. It's a pick and roll on pass beauty. Inside to McKee to the baseline. He'll roll one up in the right hand and drew a foul inside as he was pinched in there by Sigma and Coleman. down low, in which a whistle's been called for a foul, but he's only picked up the 2 fouls. Been very lucky.
He has been. He could have easily been called. Certainly, we saw on that one replay. He should have been called on the other one, on the drive into the middle.
Derek McKee hit the free throw. McKee now is 4 of 5. Coleman with 3 fouls. Humphries with 3 fouls. Sigma with 2. McKee hits the second free throw. Derek now with 9. And the team is 16 of 22. The Sonics are from the line, while the Bucks are 8 of 9. The Bucks only have attempted 3 free throws here in the quarter.
They're not getting inside. That's the reason why. If you go outside, you might not get to the line.
42-39. Sonics lead. 2:55 to go second quarter. Henderson, the former Sonic, in the lineup. On top to Sigma. Over to Roberts. Feed his man Ellis on an overplay. Glides inside and packed up and clotheslined over there by McKee. And Roberts will head up there for a chance at 2. Timeout called by the Sonics. The score, Seattle 42, Milwaukee 39. Sonics on top by 3, 42-39, with 2:49 to go here in the first half. Along with Rick Barry, this is Kevin Calabro tonight here on the simulcast. We'll be talking to you from Chicago on Saturday night when the Sonics take on the Chicago Bulls, who have to play on Friday night. They play the New Jersey Nets on the road. Fred Roberts now to the free throw line. Roberts shooting 54% from the field, 88% from the line. Came in as a leading scorer among the starting 5 for the Milwaukee Bucks with 20 a ball game.
I'll tell you, Fred Roberts had such a terrific playoff series last year for the Bucks, and I think that just gave him so much more confidence in his offensive game, and it's carried over here to this season.
Second shot by Roberts. He's up. It is good. Sonics have really shut down Roberts here tonight, who has 3 points. He's only attempted 3 shots from the field. They were all in the first quarter. 42-40 the score. The Sonics lead it here. Sedale 3 challenging Gerald Henderson off the near flank. Takes him to the inline. Beats him. Runs to the glass and rolls it up and in. What a play by Sedale 3 out there, using the screen out of the wing. Wipe out Gerald Henderson. 44-40. Sonics with their largest lead of 4. 2:25 to go second quarter. Here's Henderson gliding over in front of Del Harris at the far sideline. Over it goes to Pierce. He's been red hot. Pierce up to 19 in the game. Takes X to the inline. Pulls up. Fires the jump shot. It goes. Ricky Pierce. 21 first half points for Pierce. Back come the Sonics. Ellis breaks by the sauntering Bucks defense and just simply beat him back for 2 points off glass.
Bucks transition defense has been very poor tonight, and the Sonics have really capitalized on it, and I'm sure Bernie's pleased about that.
46-42. Henderson again takes his man 3 to the inline, and this time draws a foul.
And the entire Sonic defense that time, other than the man on the ball, had no idea what was happening. They all were watching their man. They had lost sight of the ball because no one even made an attempt to go over to help on that penetration move. That's probably the worst breakdown defensively that they've had this evening. They've been doing an outstanding job so far.
They want to have their back to the basketball, and that's what the coach is saying during practice. Ball in man, ball in man. Try to keep an eye on both. Henderson hits the free throws. He rocks the first one in there.
Well, that's true, Kevin. And if you're going to lose anything, lose sight of your man, maybe, because if you see the ball, you have a general idea where your man is, because probably the guy with the ball is going to be looking at your man.
Henderson hits the second free throw, and there you see the difference. Maybe in the ball game, a 5-point spread for the Sonics at the line, who have had 22 attempts to the 13 of the Bucks. Nice play as McMillan raised up and gunned one on the inline for Ellis, who beat his man posting up down low. Dale up to 17 in the game, 12 here in the quarter for Dale. Dale has hit 6 of 7 from the field here in the quarter. The only miss was a 3-pointer. 48-44. Sonics lead by 4 minutes 23 to go in the half. Pierce trying to break home with the next. Fronts it. Coleman with the ball on top. Sigma runs to the end line, and on a switch, he beats the Sonics, laying it up and in. Sigma with 8.
Again, this communication defensively there.
Back come the Sonics in a hurry. Ellis sidesteps right, takes it left into the lane, try to reverse, went to his backside, knocked to the floor, no foul. Ball comes free. Cage with a rebound. Out to X, left of the lane. 13 on the shot clock. A minute 1 to go in the first half. X, a jumper over Sigma. Good. Xavier McDaniel with 15 points, 8 in the quarter. He and Ellis have really gone to work here in this second quarter. Ellis with 12 of his 17, and X now with 8 of his 15 in the period. 50-46. Sonics lead it. Sigma a 3. It's a flat shot that rolls off. The ball is deflected away and into the hands of McDaniel. X runs down the far sideline. Picks up his dribble. Double teamed out on the wing. Gives to Sellers. Brad will launch it over here. Cross court to McMillan at the near flank on the point. He delivers it low to Ellis. Sets his feet. Got up in the air and was hammered by Ricky Pierce.
It's 3 on Pierce now, I believe, isn't it? We can afford to get a few more on him. Get him out of that game.
That is his third.
And again, it's wise to take advantage of him. There's a big advantage to go ahead and post up a guy like Pierce, who's not the greatest defender in the world. And when you have some size on him, you might as well make him have to work hard on the defensive end. It might take just a little out of his offense. And he's going to be out of there real quick as Grayer's getting ready to come in. Of course, here with only 29 seconds. It's silly for Dale Harris to leave him in.
Dale Ellis hits the free throw. 18 now for Dale here in the ballgame. Dale is 4 of 5 from the free throw line. As you see, Ricky Pierce getting a breather as he goes to the bench. And Randy Brewer now will check in. Coleman going over to the bench. So the Bucks have Henderson, Grayer at the guard, Sigma, Brewer, and Roberts across the front line. Not a very quick line at all. Sonics have brought Threed over to the bench and have inserted Dana Barros, three-pointer extraordinaire. Ellis shot is up. It is good. Dale up to 19. Sonics will pressure the inbounds pass. Pauly's down there on Sigma. Sonics have their largest lead of 6:52 to 46. Foul on the inbounds. Roberts was pinned over at the far corner. Looked like they might have been able to trigger a turnover, but the whistle on the foul on X is second.
And again, reaching in, Kevin. I mean, they had done such a good job of trapping dead in the corner. I mean, Fred had no angles. He was in big trouble. And then you try to reach in and do a silly little thing like making a steal. Those are the little things that X is going to learn, and it's just going to make him that much better basketball player.
Xavier McDaniel now in his 5th year. He always learned in this game.
Well, you have to continually learn and try to improve. The moment that you get to the point where you're happy with what you're doing and you let complacency set in, you're in big trouble in this league. In fact, Michael Cage had some interesting things to say to me. In fact, hopefully we'll have a chance for you to hear some of the things we'll interview at halftime. But he also said to me off the air that he also learned that you can't really just be happy with what it is that you're doing. You got to constantly look to improve.
And Cage certainly has done that this year. Shooting is vastly improved. Roberts hits the free throw. 5 now for Fred. 48. Bucks 52 Sonics. 23 seconds remaining. Barrows pushes it up the floor. Hands off to Sellers. He was tied up midair by Randy Brewer. And that was a bit of a late whistle. I thought they might have called a walk on Sellers, but luckily the Sonics just get a jump ball here between Brewer at 7'3" or so and Sellers at 7 feet. Sellers goes up. Look at him. He nearly jumped out of the gym, and Joe Borgia says, didn't throw the ball up. So Joe gets in between them now. Here we go. The 2 tall gentlemen. Ball is tapped in backcourt, picked up by Barrows. Sonics lead it 52 to 48. 15 seconds remaining in the first half. Dana Barrows out high. A danger. Skips between the defense, heads to the glass, rolls one up, couldn't finish it. Rebound X. Pump fakes, reverses, off glass. It will drop short, but he is fouled and will head to the line.
Now, normally it would say, hey, play for the last shot. But if you can get that kind of a penetration, get all the way to the basket, which Dana was able to do, I mean, that shot you have to go ahead and take. Unfortunately, he missed that layup. X, wasn't able to get that one to drop, so we could add 2 more on the list of shots within 3 feet of the basket the Sonics did not hit. Had they made any kind of a percentage on those attempts alone, they would be looking at a substantial lead here going into the half.
McDaniel now 6 of 9 from the line as he hit the first free throw. 16 for Xavier McDaniel. McDaniel's picked up 9 of his 16 here in the quarter. Ellis now will go to the bench as Threed comes in. 6 seconds remaining in the first half. Sonics lead at 53 to 48. They can get their lead back here, but don't. As the free throw misses, Brewer grabs the rebound, and we've got a timeout called by the Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks will have to bring it the length of the floor with 5.4 seconds left here in the first half. The Sonics leading at 53 to 48. Their largest lead has been 6. Threet, McMillan, Barros, along with Polynice and Sellers on the floor. Now Bernie Bickerstaff, along with official Bernie Fryer, the lead official here tonight, go to the scorer's table. There's some question, I believe, about where the ball should be brought inbounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's some question as to the legality of the substitution by Seattle.
Well, there you have the explanation by the PA announcer. They're talking about the legality of the substitution by Seattle. We'll see if Bernie snuck one by Bernie Fryer, or if there even was an infraction.
Make X-Man get back in the ball game. I see Bernie was trying to do it, and I'm sure you tell him, don't foul anybody now, X, when you go in there. On the 22nd timeout, you're not allowed to make the substitution.
So Fred Roberts will bring it in bounds, and Henderson breaks open. No, that's not what they wanted to see. Breaks to the inline, fires one off, missed it, an air ball, deflected out of bounds by Dana Barros with 1 second remaining in the half. 53 to 48. Sonics will pressure that inbounds pass like nobody's business. McDaniel doing jumping jacks in front of Tony Brown. They get it inbounds to Henderson. He will get a shot up. Will it count? They will count the basket. I don't think so.
There's no way that was a second. That ball was tipped, and then it caught it. They did not turn the clock on. That was impossible with 1 second for that to happen. Impossible.
We'll get the replay.
Now, I'll tell you, the ball is touched. There, it's got to start right now. It is impossible for that to happen. Catch the ball and then be able to go ahead and shoot it back up. Of course, we're watching in slow motion, but even in slow motion, there's no way. That ball was tipped and went back up in the air. It's no way. They should be arguing that one.
I agree with you, and they are still standing out there at midcourt. We'll take a break and report to you in just a moment. Bernie Bickerstaff, along with the officials, Bernie Fryer, Danny Crawford, and Joe Borgia, discussing that last-second shot at the end of the second quarter play. And Bernie there with a grin on his face as he has his last word with the timekeeper over there at midcourt. He and Del Harris shake hands, and we're ready to begin our second half of play. But we had the opportunity, obviously, to time the play, and that play took more than the 1 second which was on the clock here at the Bradley Center.
Well, that's why you pay the timekeeper at home a good salary.
I guess so.
Those things. I want to remind fans out there, as the youngsters, that you could be a Coca-Cola Albertsons honorary ball kid at a Sonics game this year if you're between the ages of 8 and 14. Pick up an entry from your displays of Coca-Cola at Western Washington Albertsons today.
53-50 backdoor lob. McMillan to McKee at the rim. It hit the rim and caromed off, and here come the Milwaukee Bucks in possession. Humphreys to Sigma trailing. Good three-point shooter, but McKee up on it. Humphreys over to Robertson. Swings it left, takes it right. Scampers headed to Key over to Humphreys. Head and shoulder fake. Pulls up under the guard at 3. Under the guard of X-Man, I believe. Yeah, it was X. And nailed the jumper. Humphreys now with 5. Sonics with their starting 5 back on. Freed's over on the bench. 53-52 to score. Sonics by 1. McKee back Sigma down. Triple team. Out to Ellis for the 3. That will not go. Long rebound caught on the end line by McKee. He's tied up by Sigma and Roberts, and a jump ball's called. It'll be Roberts and McKee.
I want to tell those youngsters for the Coca-Cola Ball Kid contest at Albertsons, don't do it today, because that means tonight your mom will get mad at me. Wait till tomorrow. Don't go out tonight and do it.
11:16 to go. Third period of play. Thanks for the words of wisdom, Rick. McKee and Roberts. Here's McKee, taps it out, away from X. X gets it, looks it over to Ellis, back on top to McKee. Derek looking low, over to the corner. Ellis in three-point range, nails this one. Dale Ellis with the three-point bomb. Dale now up to 22 points here in the ball game.
Now Del Harris upset with his team because they did not do a very good job of rotating their defense. I mean, a lot of the teams, or actually most every team in the league, does that at one time or another, and if you don't rotate properly, you got a big problem.
Dale Ellis 1 for 4 from three-point range. Robertson draws to the rim, skips a pass out on the wing to Humphreys. Missed a shot. Brewer the rebound, slides one in with a sidearm hook. Randy Brewer with 5. McDaniel beats the defense back and slams it in the face of Randy Brewer. Del Harris wants a timeout. He is really hot about his defense that just simply did not get back in time. With 10:41 remaining in the third quarter, the Sonics lead the Milwaukee Bucks 58-54. Full court pressure applied by the Sonics in the first pass inbound. X and McMillan hassle. Humphreys gets to Roberts, runs right up the middle and missed the slam dunk. Here come the Sonics on the rebound. X off to the far flank, leaves it for McMillan. McMillan back to X, jabs left, takes it right, slashes into the lane, gives off to McKee, up to the glass. He'll roll one, missed it. Rebound, fought for inside. McKee keeps it alive, but Brewer picks it up off the floor. Advances it to Robertson. Sprints left to the lane, pulls up, hits the trailer. Brewer poked out of his hands by McMillan. Foul called on Nate McMillan. His third.
I'm going to guarantee you, from the angle we had here, I saw that angle perfectly. There is no way that Bernie Fryer could have seen that play.
I agree.
He was totally screened out of the play. Well, watch the end of the play coming up here. Now watch this, Bernie Fryer, left of your screen. Now watch as Nate's going to go ahead. Brewer's going to come into the picture now, trailing. Now here he is. Now McMillan reaches right there as he reached in his body. That was, I'm talking about the body of McMillan. Had Bernie totally screened off, and all he could see was him reaching in and the ball coming loose, and it was an assumption on his part that there was a foul.
The body was not on Brewer. The hand was on nothing but leather. Nevertheless, a foul, and Brewer hits both free throws. Brewer now with 7 in the ball game. 58-56. 10:08 remaining. Third quarter play. Down low. Robertson and Ellis watch it. Really battle on the blocks. McKee out on top to McMillan, covered by Humphreys to Ellis. He'll fire a 3. That Sigma got a piece of it. Falls short. Roberts saves it inbounds. Here comes Alvin Robertson across midcourt with McKee on it. Poked away by McKee. Picked up by Roberts in full stride. Stops. Skips it back outside to Roberts now. But Roberts will set the floor. To Humphreys. Back to Roberts inside. Give and go action. Shot blocked beautifully by Ellis. And here come the Sonics with the possession. McMillan ahead to McKee. Off the cage screen. Runs inside. Big collision. And a walk. As McKee ran into Sigma, they call a walk. 10th turnover on the Sonics.
Well, that's a break for the Sonics that the walk was called and not a charge, but of course it could have also easily have been a block on Jack Sigma. And You have to be happy that McKee didn't get the extra foul.
The Bucks will bring it up, trailing by 2. 9.5 minutes to go, third quarter. Humphries. He didn't want to pass that. It got out of his hands, though. Robertson's there to cover it. Back to Humphries. On it comes near wing to Robertson. Slashes into the lane. Double team back to Sigma. Pump fakes. Backs in on McKee. Steps, climb, rolls one up. Off the glass. Won't go. Sigma the rebound. Tapped out of his hands. Off the hands of McDaniel and out of bounds. They will give it to the Sonics. It will be Sonics ball. I think the Sonics drew a break there. It's a 2-point lead for Seattle with 9:15 to go in the third period. McMillan across midcourt, side saddle, dribble, backing down on Humphries. Daniel whirls away. Humphries left to McKee. Passes over to X near wing on a switch. Alvin Robertson covering X. X down low to Cage. Takes Brewer to the inline. Shut off. Hook passes inside of McMillan. Tapped out of his hands by Robertson. Picked up by Humphries. Here he comes with the Sonics to the lane. Humphries beats X to the glass. Up and in with a leading left-hander. Humphries with 7. We're tied at 58 all. 8:47 to go, third period. McMillan slowly gallops down the near sideline. On top it comes down with Robertson right. Taps it in the backcourt. Here he comes, Alvin Robertson by Ellis to the glass. Lays it up and in. Sonics got sloppy with that pass. That's a cross-court, backcourt pass with Alvin Robertson, a tremendous defensive player, and that usually leads to 2 points. Along with Rick Barry, Kevin Calabro here in, I wanted to say Seattle, but we're in Milwaukee, where it's snowing outside. The Bucks lead at 60-58 with 8.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Free throws have hurt the, or I should say turnovers have hurt the Sonics with 4 here in the third quarter play already.
Yeah, you got to credit good defense to Alvin Robertson. That's why he was the best defensive player in the league one time. He's been on to all defensive teams.
Bucks are 4 of 8. Seattle 2 of 6 from the field here in the quarter. 60-58. Sonics trail by 2. McMillan over to the far flank to Ellis. Back to McMillan. Runs into the lane. Back outside it comes to McKee. Good ball movement. Baseline right. McDaniel raises, fires, hits. McDaniel with 20 here in the game.
And that's the way you beat down the double teaming and pressure. You move the basketball.
60-60. 8 minutes remaining. Third quarter. Humphries tries to break away from McMillan, but McMillan tags him, shadows him, stays right on him. Humphries over to Robertson. Right into Key. Starts up, stops, pulls up. Long jumper good. Alvin Robertson with 8. Sonics have Michael Cage, McMillan, Ellis. Here comes X-Man along with McKee on the floor. Roberts, Humphries, Brewer, Sigma, and Robertson. Cordell Harris is Brewers, or I should say Bucks. On the inline, it's Derek McKee with a long pass. McKee nailing the jump shot. He picks up 11.
It's okay, the Brewers are in the city too. It's all right.
Yeah, but there's a big difference. Here's Alvin Robertson. The Bucks can't hit. Roberts, high post left of the lane, down low, and goes to Brewer on the block. Swings up the left-handed hook over X, won't go. Rebound comes to McKee. 62 all with 7:20 to go, third quarter. McDaniel starts up the near flank, working on Fred Roberts, pumps it outside to Dale Ellis, gets it past a lunging Robertson. Alvin taps it away. Dale retreats to pick it up. Now they'll give it to McDaniel with 9 on the shot clock. Low it goes to Cage. Tries to step by Brewer to the inline. Shot off. Outside it goes with 4 on the shot clock. McKee to Ellis. Nice mid-range jump shot from about 15 feet right of the lane.
Well, again, excellent ball movement on the part of the Sonics, and if they continue to get those type of shots, they'll be in good shape. They need now to clamp down on the Bucks a little bit defensively, get a little run, and get a little breathing room here.
Ellis is 2 for 4 in the quarter, including a three-quarter. 64-62. The Sonics lead it. On top, headed to Key is Sigma. Over to Humphries at the far flank, covered by McMillan. Humphries looks right, jab steps left into the lane, gives off to Robertson, fires over the lunging Cage, missed this one, rebound X. Here comes McDaniel. Ellis to his left, Cage to his right. Humphries and Robertson clear the lane. Over to Ellis, out of the wing. Jumper rolls off, rebound X. Lost it as he came back to the floor. Tapped out of his hands, was touched by Alvin Robertson. It'll be Seattle ball.
Well, I tell you, Alvin Robertson has got his hands on so many balls and knocking them away from the Bucks. He's got exceptional anticipation and exceptionally quick hands. It's been outstanding.
Dale Freed in for McMillan now. Will get the ball in bounds to X-Man. Covered by Pierce, who just checks in. X fires the air ball, but fetched out of midair by Freed. Back steps on the inline and drills a jump shot. Beautiful play. Freed now with 4. 66-62. The Sonics with a 4-point lead. They've led by as many as 6. That was back in the late stages of the second quarter.
Boy, Sedale made a great move right there. Had it not been for the sideline being so close, he made a great steal against Robertson.
Dale using the sideline as his ally there to pinch Robertson. On the inbounds, Humphries with it at the far point. Humphries picks up his dribble over to the corner. Pierce winds up, gets airborne. Flat shot off of Mark Robertson. Outskies McKee for the rebound. Unloads to Sigma for a long three-point cast. The rolls off the front. Back spins in. Sigma with 11. Boy, that hurt. Here come the Sonics. McKee breaks into the lane. Glides by Sigma, but was bumped in midair. Could not finish the shot. Will have to go to the line to earn it.
just watch the excellent athletic ability of Derek McKee at the end of this break as he comes down. Sickman moves over, still kind of moving as Derek was committed, and Derek tried to sidestep it, and Jack kind of leaned into him a bit. Good call. An excellent move on the part of Derek McKee, who was looking like he wanted to stuff that one.
That is the third foul on Jack Sikma. 67-65. Sonics by 2. 5:48 to go, third quarter. Derek second shot up. Short. Brewer steps in front of 3 for the rebound. Outlet pass to Humphries. Scampers across midcourt. Humphries to Sikma on the open floor, challenging Ellis. Picks up his dribble. Lofts it inside the Brewer. Hit him in the hand. Comes free. Rebound. Off the turnover to Derek McKee. He'll bring it down the far side. Loops it out on top. Ellis. Jab steps. Ducks under Sikma. Moves on a 15-footer. Short. Cage. Grabs it. Lays it in. It's fouled and will go back to the line. A chance at a three-point play for Michael.
Humphries there creating the foul. And that was a nice move on the part of Dale Ellis to get by the 2 big men. But Brewer made him change the shot. And there you see Michael Cage, ever present inside and picking up the foul. It was Humphries, so Michael with a chance for the three-point play.
Humphries now up to 4 fouls in the game. Derek McKee will come out. In will come Brad Sellers. It's Cage knocks in the free throw. Michael now with 5 here in the ball game. 70-65. Sonics lead by 5. 5:22 to go. Third quarter. Street. Really on Humphries as he gets across midcourt. Humphries will bounce it out here far on the way to Brewer. Brewer gets it back to Humphries. A long shot misfired. Long rebound picked out of midair by Pierce, who will launch a free throw line jumper and gets nothing but that. Pierce now up to 23 in the game. Back up the Sonics, beating the Brewer defense back. Underhand pass. McDaniel out there it goes to 3. 3 will back up, headed to Key. 70-67. Sonics by 3. 4:53 to go, third quarter. 3 out on top. Try to lob it here to McDaniel, but it was fronted and tapped out of bounds by Pierce.
Number 31, Brandon Roberts.
We're in Brewtown tonight. Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
I thought you were calling this after Andy Brewer, maybe.
Make him a national monument. Here's the inbound pass. 3 pulls up, gets it inside the cage. Ball tapped out of his hand. He just simply lost it. And Robertson picks it up. 70-67. Sonics by 3. 4:40 to go, third quarter. Robertson guns a long pass deep in the corner to Pierce. Inside the Brewer. Launches it outside to Robertson. Swings it right, takes it left on Ellis. Pulls up off the Brewer screen and nails the jumper. Alvin now with 10. Boy, those turnovers here in the period have killed the Sonics. They're up to 13 now in the ballgame. 5 here in the quarter. 4:21 to go, third period. Sonics lead by 1. 3 with the ball. Ellis down low to X. Turns on Pierce. Fires off the jump shot. Missed it. Cage keeps it alive. Tipping it away from Brewer. Cage rolls out to the far side. Loops it on top to 3. Back to Sellers. Runs to the end line. Turned by Roberts. He lobs it out. Left-hand side. Free throw line extended to Cage. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Cage lobs the pass low to Ellis. Turns. Fades on the baseline. Missed it. 2-hand reverse tap by Cage. Missed it. Rebound comes to the Bucks. Humphries across midcourt. Humphries looking inside low. They've got a mismatch as Cage was slow to get up on the opposite end, and Roberts off the wing nails the jump shot. Fred Roberts hits the jumper. The Bucks have a lead. Jordan will be in Seattle on November the 18th. The only way to see him face the Sonics is to purchase a ticket package. Call now at 206-281-5800. The Bulls in town November 18th. 281-5800. Sonics bring it back after the timeout. Trailing here by 1. X-Man turnaround jump shot. Air ball. Picked out of midair by Cage. Missed the first one, but got the tap up and in.
He is just really dynamite on the offensive boards.
Back come the Sonics. Defensively, dropping into midcourt is 3. Stays right with Humphries. Really pestering him. Humphries kicks it over to Pierce. Runs into the lane. Leans back on a running right-hander. He was bumped by Cage, but Pierce gave it just a little more of his own momentum to draw the foul and go to the line for 2.
Had Pierce not gone and fall backwards and put a little acting job on there, they might have let that one slide by.
Well, Ricky Pierce is the great scorer that he is. He's had games of 35 and 21 already this year.
It's also why you want to go ahead and penetrate. You penetrate and go to the basket, you have a much better opportunity getting to that free throw line, and it causes so many problems for the defense.
Michael Cage has 3 fouls. Pierce to the line. Drops the first free throw through there. 24 for Pierce. The Bucks are 16 of 18 from the stripe. The Sonics are 21 of 29. 72-72 to score. 3:11 to go. Third period play. Sonics have led in this quarter by as many as 4 points.
And right now, Alvin Robertson, I would have to pick out as the man of the quarter, you would say, because he's really helped keep the Bucks in this one to take up that deficit that they had of 3 points and really keep things close. He's been a factor both offensively and defensively.
Yes, he has been a factor defensively. The Sonics have 5 turnovers here in this quarter alone. 25 from Pierce as he hits the free throw. The Sonics lead it by 1. 3. Gets it over deep in the corner to Ellis. Ellis pivots, picks up his dribble outside the 3. Tries to beat Humphries. Pulls up. Long jumper. Good. Sedale nailed it. Sedale was 6. He needs a good shooting night. He came in 4 of 14 from the field in the previous 3 games. 75-72. 2:47 to go. 3 for 4 here tonight. Sonics lead it. Humphries with the ball. Over to Pierce. The open floor. Challenged by McKee. Pierce slides into the lane. Trying to give out. Tapped away by 3. Picked up by Humphries. Over to Roberts. Gets Sellers off his feet, and Brad was helpless as Fred then lowered the head and went right into Brad to draw the foul on Brad Sellers. Second foul on Brad. 13th foul. 74-72. Sonics lead here with 2:34 to go. Third period play from Milwaukee. Roberts with the ball in the inbound. Hands off to Alvin Robertson. Again checked by McKee now. Robertson puts it between the wickets. Heads into the lane. Nice first step. To the glass he goes. Rolls it up and in. Alvin Robertson with 12. Back come the Sonics. We're tied at 74 all. 3. Looking to skip it low to McKee. Fronted by Coleman. Tapped away. Robertson goes on the floor. Diving for the ball. Kicks it out to Humphries. 3-on-3 to Pierce off the flank to the glass. Lays it up and in. Ricky Pierce with 27. And the Bucks now show a bit of a running game as Del Harris has gone with a smaller lineup. 76-74. Bucks by 2. Minute 58 to go third quarter. Ellis in the corner. Bluffs Roberts. Step 5. Pulls up 15-footer. Rims off. Rebound Big Ben Coleman. Out it goes to Robertson. He wants to run. Sprints across midcourt. Pulls up. Gives to Coleman the trailer. Sets up on a jumper. Draws Cage out of position. Then ducks under him. Heads to the lane. And draws a foul before he can get a shot off.
Well, right now, the Sonics not playing the outstanding defense that they showed us in the first half. They're being beaten and not a lot of help.
I believe the foul was called on Cage, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, it was. They showed 44 on that one. See, Michael, no reason to try and block the shot before he went out there. That's the kind of shots you want him to be taking.
Fourth foul on Michael. Bucks will get it inbounds. Roberts down low to Robertson. Turns on the block. Shot blocked by Sellers and then directed into the hands of McKee. What a beauty.
Pretty tough to post up the 7-foot or guard.
Yeah, he had no idea that Sellers was on. I don't think he realized that the Sonics had switched down low. Little Avery Johnson now in the lineup. 2-year pro from Southern. Tries to flip it over to Ellis in the corner. Tapped away by Humphries out of bounds. 77-74. Bucks by 3. Minute 25 to go. Third quarter. Anybody's ball game. Gerald Henderson comes into the lineup now for Milwaukee. And Jay Humphries will go to the bench. Humphries playing with 4 fouls. Alvin Robertson on the floor with 3. Sigma on the bench with 3. Pierce on the floor with 3. Holden Polonese coming in for Michael Cage, who has 4 fouls. Sellers will bring it inbound. Sonics trail by 3. Minute 25 to go. Nice give. Johnson back to Sellers. Runs to the glass. Sellers is fouled. Will go to the line with a chance at 2 as Coleman picks up the foul.
A terrific pass that time on the part of Johnson on that little backdoor cut on the part of Brad Sellers. See, Brad, he'll kick it in. He makes the cut to go back door because his man overextended, wide open. An excellent choice of passes. Brad trying to go for the dunk and draws the foul. Good, smart basketball there.
Brad Sellers to the line. An excellent free throw shooter. It's the toss. 3 now for Brad.
Yeah, but watch again. He still was flat. I mean, that shot was very flat. Hit the front of the rim and managed to crawl in that time. I'd still like to see him get a little more arc on the ball.
22 of 30 are the Sonics from the line. They've outscored the Bucks by 5 from the stripe. Margin here, though, on the big scoreboard suspended above us is 1 point, 77-76. Brad gets both free throws through there, 4 for the game. Sonics pressure the inbound pass from the trap, and Robertson dribbles through it all the way into the lane, guns it over to Pierce, off the baseline. Sellers goes flying by, Pierce pulls up, and it's a 15-footer.
I'll tell you, Alvin Robertson is just killing the Sonics in this quarter. He was responsible again for that 2 points with the penetration.
Pierce with 29, 79-76, Bucks by 3. Johnson skips a little, he hesitates, rolls into the lane, and Coleman comes over from the weak side to help out defensively. Robertson had his hands around McKee's waist. That'll be the 3rd foul on Fred Roberts, and McKee heads up for 2. Bucks by 3, 59 seconds remaining, 3rd quarter play. McKee shooting 86% for the Sonics this year from the stripe. Nails the free throw. 13 for Derek. The Sonics have had 32 attempts, have hit 24. What a contrast to last year's game. The Sonics turned the ball over 27 times here. And their 3rd lowest field goal percentage of the year. Roberts looking to throw it long down down the floor to a sprinting Pierce, but Sellers adroitly picked him up to close off that opportunity. Here come the Bucks. Henderson getting hops across midcourt. Back Johnson down off the far flank. 79-78. Bucks by 1. 47 seconds remaining. Third quarter. Roberts long jump shot. A flat shot ends off the Coleman. Sticks it right back up and in. Keep in mind, the Sonics limited the Bucks to no offensive rebounds in the first half. 81-78. A 3-point Milwaukee lead. 35 seconds remaining. Third quarter. Johnson with the ball. Down low to McKee. Turns. Pirouettes. Fadeaway jump shot. 18-footer won't go. Polonese had an inside rebound position, but did he come over the back to get there? He did. Foul on Polonese.
You know, again, that's something that being a young player in the league, he made a mistake that he didn't need to make, in that he gave a little shove to Pierce. But hey, Pierce is only a little guard. He's a tall guy. He didn't need to push Pierce at all, because if the ball came anywhere near him, he was going to be able to get it from Pierce without any difficulty.
Difference here, as you might have seen at halftime, for the Milwaukee Bucks has been their bench scoring. When they outscored the Sonics 28-4 at halftime, but keep in mind 21 of the 28 were scored by Ricky Pierce, who's now up to 29 points in the ball game, and Pierce has only missed one shot in 4 attempts from the field here in this quarter. 81-78 the score. Coleman to the line, where he often has a few adventures. He missed the first one. Ricky Pierce will come out, and Gerald Henderson will make that Jeff Grader checking in, the 2-year pro from Iowa State.
That's what I'm saying. When Coleman was going to take that long jump shot, why in the world did Michael Page think about wanting to block it?
Coleman hits the second one. 3 for Coleman. Avery Johnson, 5'11". Trapped by Grayer, 6'4". Roberts, 7-feeder here. And here, nearly in backcourt, is a turnover. Johnson just did tap it away from Roberts and then got it into the hands of McKee as the Sonics clear midcourt.
And they just missed having a 10-second violation.
82-78. Sonics trail by 4. 10 seconds remaining. They trap Johnson. He skips it to McKee. He's got to get a shot off with 6, with 5. He pushes a baseline popper up there that won't go, and an offensive foul. It again is on Polonese, and again will come the other way as the Milwaukee Bucks can pick up a 6-point lead at the line.
See, again, you know, this is a big man. You know, big men don't have to do a lot of stuff with their hands and push, and he's just the type of guy that does a great deal of that, and he has a reputation, and as a young player, he's not going to get any breaks. And another tough break for Seattle here, and you see their lead now has gone from 3-point lead to a 4-point deficit, and possibility of even further damage being done.
Coleman's shot, it is up, it is good. Coleman now with 4.
Can't afford to make plays like that and give the home team those type of advantages.
Sonics, however, are close here at the close of the third quarter. Very close. 83-78. Bucks can pick up their largest lead as Coleman drills both free throws. 6-point lead for the Bucks. Sonics have 3 seconds as Johnson in midcourt launches a long one that will fall short. Sellers managed to pick it off in midair, lay it up and in with the basket, will not count. Bucks 13 of 23, 56%. Sonics 6 of 7 from the line. Bucks 7 of 8 from the line. But again, Sonics with 6 turnovers. Bucks with 1. That was in the third quarter. The Sonics were outscored 34-25. They trail here by 4 with 11:04 to go in the ball game. Johnson on Humphries. Humphries pumps it in the lane. Robertson turns on a 15-footer, missed it. Coleman the rebound. Jump hooks one up and good. Sonics have got to get a body on Ben Coleman.
Well, we talked about the offensive boards. They needed to control that defensive boards. They did it the first half. Daniel drops that jumper on the right side, but they haven't done a very good job in the second half.
X with 22. He was 2 for 5 from the field in the third quarter. Robertson stops in the lane and simply leaps up and drops in an easy 8-footer. Robertson now with 14. 88-82. McDaniel lobs it low to Sellers. Backs. Hands off to the cutter Johnson. Off his hands, off his foot, out of bounds. Another turnover to the Sonics, who have now 15 in the ball game, and the Bucks will bring the ball up.
Yeah, they're having some trouble tonight offensively because Derek McKee has not been very effective offensively. They need to get a little more diversification with their offense here. Sellers helped just a little bit, but they need to get some scoring, as you mentioned, off of their bench. And also, Nate McMillan hasn't even looked to be a factor offensively tonight.
The Bucks could take their largest lead here. Lead by 6. Humphries with the ball at the far point. Gives to Robertson. Double teamed out on the flank by McMillan and Ellis. Robertson looking to lob low. Can't. Tried to give in to Roberts and fronted easily by McKee for a steal. Back come the Sonics. McMillan hustles across midcourt. Pumps it ahead to X-Man on the open floor. Roberts snaps it away. X has to save it in bounds. Did he? No. Stepped on the far sideline. 88-82. 9:56 to go fourth quarter. Good play by Roberts.
And they continue to make turnovers, and that's killing them.
Sonics with 16 in the ball game. Milwaukee with 12. 6 of those turnovers in the third quarter play. We saw the State control.
And they just had 2 more here.
A 6-point lead for Milwaukee. Robertson with it near side. Pumps it in on the low block to Coleman. Got up in the air. Was tied up by McKee for a foul. Coleman heads up there for 2 as Derek picks up his second foul.
Yeah, well, Derek was in big trouble as Coleman came from the weak side and had terrific position on him and was right down underneath the basket. And Bucks did a good job of getting the ball to him.
Ben Coleman, who spent some time here in Minnesota. He's from Garland, Texas, but he spent the first couple of years at the University of Minnesota before transferring to Maryland. Drops in a free throw. Coleman with 8. He hurt the Sonics last year. He had 11 rebounds when he was wearing the suit of the Philadelphia 76ers. He had 11 boards and had an explosive first quarter on the offensive rebounding end, as I recall, in that game. The Sixers won at the Spectrum. 90-82 as Coleman hits both crosses. Here's Ellis with the long three-pointer. He was knocked to his backside by Robertson. Robertson beats it back as they clear the rebound. Robertson in the glass, lays it up and in. Alvin now with 16 points. Bernie will call a timeout. The Bucks have their largest lead of 10 points. You can see the breakdown score by score, quarter by quarter. Bucks got out to the 19-17 lead after the Sonics opened the first quarter 0 for 10 from the field. And the big third quarter, which saw the Sonics being outscored by 9, 34-25. Rick, here in this period, it's been Coleman and Robertson, especially in the second half. Robertson defensively. McMillan skipping it over to Ellis as the Sonics get up on the offense, and Ellis drops home a long one out of the corner. Dale now up to 25 in the ball game. He had an explosive second quarter when he was 6 of 7 and had 14 of his 19 at half in the second period. Up to 25 in the game now. Ellis drops back defensively to cover Ricky Pierce now in the lineup. Humphries with the ball head of the key, whirls away from McMillan, heads into the line, slapped away by McMillan, picked up by Humphries. His shot blocked then by McKee and comes free. The Sonics have it. McMillan steers it across midcourt. Up to exit comes. Backs down on Roberts. Outside he pumps it to McMillan. Swings it over to Ellis. Fronted by Robertson. Tapped out of bounds. Good defensive play.
Well, boy, I tell you, there was no way that Nate even thought about making that pass just looking. I mean, it was an impossible angle, and Robertson, you could see from where we were that he was in perfect position to make a steal.
92-84, 8:35 to go fourth quarter. McDaniel with it on top with 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Backs down. Flips it outside of McMillan. Looking low for Ellis. Drops it inside Lauderdale, but fronted. Tapped away by Robertson. Picked up by Coleman. Sonics trail here by 8 with 8:21 to go in the ballgame. Ricky Pierce, who's been hot all night long, pumps it on top to Humphries. Over to Robertson. Long cast off the mark. X beats Coleman on the inline, but tapped it out of bounds. It will be Buck basketball.
And right now the Milwaukee Bucks just outplaying the Sonics both ends of the court, but it's been the Buck defense that has helped get them back into it, ignited by Alvin Robertson, and a big play off the bench for them as offensively and defensively has been Coleman. Coleman
with 9 in the second half on 5 of 6 firing from the free throw line, and this time Coleman throws the ball away. Last touch by Ricky Pierce, who went to the floor lunging for the basketball off to the near side.
Still plenty of time left here, Kevin. They just have to go ahead, execute a little better offensively, get inside a little bit more, and then shut them down better defensively.
92-84. Sonics very much in this game with 8 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. And an illegal defensive call called by Danny Crawford on the Milwaukee Bucks. That is the first on Milwaukee. First call against the Bucks. Del Harris has Alvin Robertson on the floor along with Jay Humphries at the guards. Pierce, Roberts, and Coleman along the front line. McDaniel will bring the ball inbounds to McMillan. Covered by Humphries. Humphries lunges. McMillan whirls away. Heads into the lane. Twisting, rolling underhander goes for Nate McMillan. That was a pretty drive by Nate. 92-86. Sonics trail by 6. 7:53 to go. Fourth quarter play. Humphries heads the other way. Moving laterally out to the near side. On top it comes to Robertson. To Roberts on the flank. Down low. Pierce posting up. Bangs on X. Turns. Fires. Hits. Ricky with 31 points. Ricky Pierce. He has been red hot. He's hit his last 4. Covering the third in the fourth quarter. McMillan. Down low to McKee. Quick move on Pierce. Heads to the inline. Stumbles. Tries to save it in bounds. But right down to Robertson. Robertson with a burst of speed. Beats Cage along the sideline. Rolls one up in the right hand. Drew the foul. Will they count the basket that was blocked away? They will not. He will have to go to the line for 2. The foul on Michaels is 5th, Rick.
Yes, and who's the man that's caused the problems again here as he picks up that loose ball and gets the steal is Alvin Robertson as Coleman goes to the bench and Sigma comes in. And now big problems for the Sonics. Can't say enough about Alvin Robertson. People here probably think Ricky Pierce with 30 points is the star of the game. But I guarantee you, Alvin Robertson's the guy that got this team turned around with his defense in the third period.
I would agree. Bernie Bickerstaff's crew Now down by 9. Largest lead by the Bucks has been 10. Robertson can get that back, and he does. Alvin with 18. 14 in the second half for Alvin Robertson. 96-86. Sonics trail by 10. 7:50 to go in the game and keep the ball near side. Looking low for Ellis. Fronted by Robertson. McKee backs the moves down. Back on top of McMillan. Over to the far corner. Slow raise with a baseline jump with a kick short. Rebound. Ellis lays it up. Goes. Dale Ellis. Lays it up and in. 27 for Dale. Sonics down by 8. 6:55 to go in the game. Humphrey. McMillan all over his right side. Gallops over here to fourth corner and then stops. 2 pounds of dribble waiting for Pierce to break open on the wing, but he can't. Daniel blocks that passing lane to go to Robertson, swinging it to him on the far side. Now he's swinging back to the near side, 4-point. Pierce with it, pulls up, long jumper by Ricky, short. Roberts beats the Sonics for a rebound and flips it back outside where Milwaukee will reload. Humphreys will take it, dribble drive into the lane. No, we'll circle back outside. Jay Humphreys off to the far side to Robertson. He walked with the ball. Good call by Benny Fire there on the far side. 96-88. It's an 8-point Milwaukee lead. 6:25 to go in the fourth quarter. The Sonics need some fireworks right now. McMillan will back Humphreys down. Free throw line left. Delivers a pass to Ellis. Quickly down low to McKee. Looks left, spins right, pulls up, nails the fadeaway jump shot. 15 for Derek. That's what the doctor ordered. 6-point lead for Milwaukee. 6:07 to go in the fourth quarter of play. Now Sigma in the lineup now for Milwaukee.
Clamps defensively. They've got to play defense next few minutes here to get back in.
Humphreys at the far point, covered by McMillan. On top it comes to Sigma. Threw the ball out of bounds. Turnover. Set up down low by good defensive play by McDaniel, who fronted Pierce, and before Sigma could even think about it, he threw it out of bounds. Turnover to the Bucks. They're 15th. By comparison, the Sonics have 18. 96-90. Bucks by 6. Just under 6 minutes remaining in the game. Dave McMillan backs Humphreys down. Those two have been going at it all night long. Here point to McDaniel, holding the ball for an eternity as the clock ticks down. X has got to do something with it. Fakes left, goes right. Slides by Sigma, rolls one up, missed the shot. He had a chance in the 3-point play. Could not finish it. But drew the foul, however, and will head to the line.
That's an outstanding move on the part of the X-Man that time, and I'm glad to see him facing up and making drives to the basket more frequently here this season. That's going to make him that much more effective as he makes the move here. Look at the sidestep to get by Sigma, who again leans in and picks up the foul. X couldn't get it to drop in, unfortunately.
X-Man with 22 points and 9 rebounds here in the ball game, and X will step up there to the strike with this shot that goes in. X at the line has had a number of shots. He had 7 alone in the second quarter play. The first one's up and good, second one up and good. X now with 8 of 12 dropping from the line. 96-92, Sonics have rallied from 10 down to fall within 4. 5:23 to go, fourth quarter play. Humphreys with a basketball. Humphreys outside under the guard of Ellis and McMillan trying to trap, gets to Robinson, runs into the lane, double team to Roberts, slashing it off the wing, shot blocked by McKee, and a foul. Whistle by Danny Crawford on the in line on Derek McKee.
Well, Sonics did a good job defensively that time. They rotated well. Derek came over to help out and definitely got his hand on the ball, but obviously the official thought otherwise, that he also perhaps caught part of the arm.
So Fred Roberts will come the other way to shoot free throws. Fred was 7 in the game. 96-92. It's a 4-point Milwaukee lead. They led moments ago by 10. Roberts' free throw up and is good. Roberts now with 8 in the game. 5:12 to go, fourth quarter. Roberts' second toss up. He nailed it. Roberts with 9. Sonics trail by 6. 5 minutes remaining in the game. McMillan backs Humphreys down. Quick pass inside of the baseline. Ellis waits for Robertson to go flying by, and he walked with the basketball. He had Robertson dead to rights in midair, but he just shuffled the feet.
Got a little over anxious that time. Made a great ball fake to get Robertson airborne, and then unfortunately shuffled the feet. Big turnover that time. Costly to the Sonics.
Fred Roberts will come out of the lineup, and Rick Pierce, along with Ben Coleman and Jack Sigma, are on the front line. Alvin Robertson and Humphreys are the guards. Humphreys works with the ball at the far flank. The Bucks lead by 6 with 4:50 to go in the ball game. Sikma between the double circles, way out high. Covered by McKee, who waits for him at the free throw stripe. Sikma dumps it over to Coleman. Let him shoot in the open floor. Not a good shooter. Pump fakes. Nice pass inside to Humphries. Was he held inside? No. 3 in the key called there on the Milwaukee Bucks.
And again, a good effort defensively. The Sonics are coming through with their defense. Unfortunately, the last time down, they missed a golden opportunity on that play by Dale, but they're still right in this one with 4:39 to go.
It's a 6-point Milwaukee lead. Threet into the lineup now for Nate McMillan. Threet off the far flank, covered by Humphries. Looking low for McDaniel, fronted by Pierce. Threet's got to roll it outside on top to McKee. Nice pump fake, blocks by Coleman, heads into the lane. Robertson lunges in to deflect the ball out of bounds.
He has been awesome defensively in this second half.
Threet will bring it in bounds for the Sonics. Sedale out to McKee, covered by Sikma. That's a mismatch if there ever was one. Sikma simply cannot stay with the quicker McKee. Threet will fire a three-pointer. This one rims off. McKee, control tip out to Dale. Reloads on a three. That goes! Dale hammers in the three-point shot. The Sonics are within 3 now, 98-95. And credit McKee with a control tip off the Threet. Missed three-point shot. 4:03 to go. Final period of play. Humphries outside, working the point. Pierce comes off a Sikma screen, gets the ball near side, double teamed out to Humphries. Back to Sikma, out wide, fires a jumper, it'll be short. X screens off Pierce for the rebound. Sonics ball, Sonics trail by 3. Threet across midcourt with 3:46 to go in the game. Sedale backing Humphries down. Look at Humphries lean on Threet, who straight arms him with the left arm. Over to X, it comes off the McKee screen, wide open jump shot, goes! X-Man, 26 points. Del Harris will call a timeout. Sonics rally from 10 back to pull within 1 with 3.5 minutes to go, and we've got a new ball game. Along with Rick Barry, this is Kevin Calabro from the Bradley Center in Milwaukee. The Sonics, who trailed by 10 a moment ago in the fourth quarter, have pulled now within 1. Sonics shooting 8 of 11 in the fourth period, 73%.
Well, 11-2 in the last 3:28. It's no coincidence that they're shooting 8 for 11 because that's a result of playing good defense. You play good defense, it keys your offense.
Milwaukee Bucks have had a long drought without a field goal for better than 4 minutes. Humphries out here at the near side, covered by 3, picks up his dribble, 11 on the shot clock, and the ball is tapped out of Humphries' hands by 3.
And a good substitution by Bernie a minute or so ago by bringing Sedale in because Nate was very tired, and Sedale's giving him more offensive and defensive work, which is fresh.
On the inbound, the Sonics have defensively, and Pierce nails the jumper from the head of the key.
See, a guy that's that hot, you can't drop back. You got to go up on him, make him put the ball on the floor.
197, a 3-point Buck lead. 2:59 to go in the game. Threet with it, covered by Humphries. Threet looking right, now glancing left with his back to Humphries. All the while dribbling. Pumps one over to X-Man. Far wing, covered by Robertson. X backs Alvin down. Turns to the end line. He is ganged up on, double teamed, and a foul is called. Robertson put his arms around him and picks up the foul. That's a good call by Joe Borger. That is the 4th on Alvin Robertson. It is only the 2nd team foul on the Bucks. 2:46 to go, fourth quarter. The Sonics as a team have 3 team fouls. 100-97 is the score. So neither team going to the bonus. Not yet. McDaniel on top. Over to Threet near side. Sonics trail by 3. Threet taking Humphries to the end line. Back step, jump shot. Off the mark. They sky for the rebound. Coleman ties up Pierce. Coleman rips it away from Pierce. And the Bucks have the ball.
That was not a good shot.
2:29 to go. 100-97 is the score. Sonics trail by 3. It wasn't a good shot because he didn't force that defensive man to do much, did he?
No, it's a terrible shot.
Sikma takes it to the end line and is raked around the wrist by Threet. And Sikma, an excellent free throw shooter, steps to the screen.
And you notice that Jack knew where we were in this ball game, and he didn't try to take in one of his patented step-back jumpers, did he? What did he do? He went to the basket when the opening was there. That's where you take advantage of a team, and that's where the savvy of a veteran comes in.
Jack with 11 tonight and has hit a three-pointer. That was back in the third quarter. Jack Sikma studies this one, lobs it up, it goes. Fred Roberts steps back onto the floor. Ricky Pierce will go to the bench. That is a break for the Sonics. Well, Del Harris signals to Ricky Pierce she'll be back on, so sit right here with me. 101-97. Sonics trail by 4. 2:15 to go. Nate McMillan back on the floor for the Sonics as Threet goes to the bench.
And well, hopefully that little rest he got there will give him a little more quickness.
Sikma tosses in the free throw. 102-97. 5-point Milwaukee lead. 2 minutes remaining in the ball game. McMillan out on top to Ellis. Back to Nate. Nate at the near side. Works the ball on the point with 11 seconds on the shot clock. 2 minutes even left in the ball game. Sonics down 5-5. Next backs in on Alvin Robertson. Backs and turns, gets out of control. Then he walks. Now we've got a foul. Bernie Fryer bailed out the Sonics, and Xavier McDaniel with a foul there to the near side. He was tripped up. X was tripped up and went to one knee. And they're going to call the foul on Humphrey.
X has to be very careful. First of all, he's going against a tough defender in Robertson, trying to go. And then when you put it on the floor, a team like Milwaukee, you know that you're going to get some double coverage. And that time he got bailed out.
102-97. Nice pass inside McMillan to Ellis in traffic. Rolls one up and got it, and got no foul out of all that. 32 for Dale Ellis, who hit that one in traffic. He's hit his last 4. 102-99, anybody's ball game. The Bucks lead by 3 with 1:44 to go in the contest. Humphries along with McMillan. Over at the far side, Sickle comes out to screen. They jump, they double team Humphries. Humphries picks it up, gives to Sickle. Pump takes X, heads to the lane, rolls one up, missed it. Coleman the rebound, off the foot inside, picked up by Sigma. Muscles one, lost the ball, picks it up. 3 in the key, how about it? The ball's deflected off Sigma's hand and controlled inside by X-Man.
He was in there eternity. Should have been 3 seconds.
1:21 to go in the ball game. 102-99. The Bucks lead here by 3. Backing down is McMillan. Straight arming Humphries. Turning off to the far flank. Ellis has been hot. Hit his last 4. Down low to McKee. Bluffs. Heads inside on Sigma. Lean back fade area. Well, bank around it. Was it tapped inside by McMillan for 2? They're going to give it to McKee. McKee got it. Might have been called goaltending. I held my breath. 102-101. Sonic trail by 1. Roberts to the end line. Missed the shot. Cage with a control tap into the hands of McDaniel. 51 seconds left in the ball game. Sonics will call a timeout. Trailing Milwaukee by 1. 102-101. For those of you watching on television, let's take a look at the last play. This perfect copy of the play is brought to you by Savin Copiers. Follow the leaders to Savin.
And just an incredible offensive move on the part of Derek McKee. Great athletic ability. And as you saw, Nate McMillan did not get up to interfere with that ball. Otherwise, it would have been offensive interference. So here we go.
48 seconds remaining in the game. The Sonics are down by 1, 102-101. McMillan in a holding pattern, head of the key, covered by Humphries. Over the X off the cage screen. Jump shot, airborne. He knocked it down. 28 for Xavier McDaniel, and Del Harris will call a timeout. Plenty of time left. 36 seconds remaining, and the Sonics leading here by 1 at 103-102.
And of course, right now, Kevin, it's going to come right down to what we've been talking about the entire ball game: the Sonic defense. The defense disappeared in the 3rd period when they gave up 34 points to the Milwaukee Bucks, only scoring 25 themselves. You can see that the Milwaukee Bucks at home have won the last 6 here, but they're on the verge now of perhaps having that streak in, and it's going to take defense on the part of Sonics to do it. Now, the guys you're going to have to look for here, I would think, would have to be certainly Ricky Pierce, and then you have to be careful of a guy like a Sigma who can get the ball and maybe be the guy throwing the pass off to Pierce. But Pierce would have to be the #1 fellow that you're concerned about. Again, good defense on the part of the Sonics, which they have played in the last several minutes to get back in this ball game, will determine the outcome.
Xavier McDaniel up to 28 points down the ball game. Has hit a couple of key jump shots here. 28 points, 12 rebounds for X. 10 of 18 from the field, 8 of 12 from the free throw stripe. You've got to watch Sigma, I suppose, in this situation, Rick. An excellent free throw shooter. You don't want to get too close on him in the open floor and possibly foul him, yet you can't leave him open. He's got great range.
Yes, there's no doubt about that. And the thing about it is to play the good defense, first of all, to perhaps keep the ball out of Jack's hands, overplay him some, but then overplay everything. There are going to be some screens probably coming up for Pierce to free him. The guys who are guarding the men doing the screening, Kevin, have got to be quick enough to step out to prevent the pass. You don't want the ball to get into Ricky Pierce's hands if at all possible. That's going to be a major key. And then, of course, with the guys like Humphries and Robertson, you have to be careful not to overplay too much towards where they're looking to throw the ball to give them a chance to get penetration, which can really cause some problems. So it's going to be interesting to see how well the Sonics defend the Bucks on this next possession. They only have to go ahead and stop them this time. Then it's going to be a situation where the Bucks would probably have to come out and foul.
Watch Ricky Pierce, number 22. Pierce with 33 points in the ball game, 5 of 7 from the field in the second half. The Bucks will have it.
Brought Sellers in for defense to tell a 7-footer, perhaps bother Pierce. He's on him now.
Sonics lead by 1:37 seconds remaining in the game. Street on Humphries. It is Sellers checking Pierce down low. Pierce runs off a Sigma screen. Sellers jumps by, covers Pierce in the open floor. Pierce gets him up off his feet, pulls up, passes to Roberts, gets Cage in the air, draws a foul, and he will head to the line for 2. Michael Cage drawn off his feet.
Well, I like to refer to that, the Trooper club. They had both guys in trouble. They were very lucky that Pierce wasn't smart enough to allow Sellers to fall on him the first time and get the 2 shots, and now this time Roberts was able to draw the foul on McKee. He also tried to go around him to the basket. I mean, in those situations, you let the guy come down on you, Kevin, and you take the shot. So a break in that regard for the Sonics, but their defense left a little to be desired. They let Pierce get his hands on it, and then 2 guys left their feet. That was not good defense on the part of the Sonics.
Alvin Robertson will come in, and Pierce will go to the bench, as now the defensive crew, the nickel defense, if you will step in for the Milwaukee Bucks as Roberts goes to the line for 2. Cage has fouled out of the ball game. Michael picking up the foul will head over to the line. The Sonics have Ellis 3 on the floor along with McDaniel, Sellers, and McKee.
And you saw what Del Harris did. He went to his 2 key players, the veteran Sigma, to set the screen for Ricky Pierce, keeping his 2 big offensive threats on the same side of the court, running a little 2-man action.
Fred Roberts tosses up. He leaves it short. Roberts left it short. He had hit 5 of 6, Rick, prior to that attempt. Fred with 9. They can hope for a tie with 23 seconds remaining in the game. Roberts does. 10 for Roberts, and the Sonics will call a timeout.
Well, now you play for the last shot. You either go to overtime or you win the basketball game when the ball goes up in the air. You don't take a shot until there's about 3 seconds to go on the clock. You don't want to have an opportunity for an offensive rebound, because should you miss and the Seattle and the Bucks get it back, they have a chance to win, and that's what you do. And then the Bucks, of course, have to play tough defense, and they have to make sure that they don't commit a foul and send somebody to the free throw line.
Let's pause for station identification on our radio network lines. This is the Sonics Broadcasting Network. Along with Rick Berry, this is Kevin Calabro on the simulcast tonight from the Bradley Center in Milwaukee, where the Sonics have come from 10 down in the period to tie the game at 103-103.
You know, the one thing, again, I think, Kevin, is that you've seen good consistency on the part of the Sonics other than that third period. But, I mean, they didn't quit the character here. They could have folded 10, falling down 10 on the road, but they came back with the tough defense again that they showed in the first half to get them back into this ball game. And that's got to be very encouraging for Bernie Bickerstaff and for Tom and Casey, who work so hard with this ball club. They're going to get even better as the season progresses. I think they're starting to believe in themselves defensively, and that's what it takes. You got to believe that your defense is going to help you win games.
You're talking about go-to guys in crunch time. Dale Ellis has hit his last 4 jumpers, including a 3-pointer here in the fourth quarter. He's 4 of 5. Dale has 32 points here in the ball game for the Sonics.
Well, I imagine what they're going to do is run one of their set plays when they come down to the end, and have Dale and X kind of popping out on both wings. You've got 2 guys to go to. Then you got McKee down inside. So they have a lot of options as far as what they're going to do. But they have to be smart with the ball, work the clock, and go into their play with plenty of time left so that they can get some good movement and motion in their offense, not just stand out there forever with the ball and then hope with 8 seconds to go that you can flow into your offense, because the Bucks are not going to let them do that.
They simply won't do that. You're right. And Alvin Robertson is the man who you can bet is going to be hawking the basketball wherever it goes on the floor. You can see the timeout situation if you're watching on television tonight on the simulcast. The Bucks with 2 full timeouts. The Sonics have none. Each team with a 20-second timeout. 23.9 seconds left here in the ball game. 103 the score. Fred Robertson, 1 of 2 from the line. Otherwise, this would obviously be a much different situation. The Sonics will have to bring it a full 94 feet. X-Man will get it in basket. Checked by Tony Brown, now in the lineup. He started tonight for the Bucks. McMillan will bring it to midcourt as the Bucks lay off. Humphries guarding McMillan. Ellis is guarded by Tony Brown. Let's see if the Sonics exploit that. McMillan backs Humphries down with 8, with 7. Game tied. McMillan inside to X. Turns on Coleman. Fires off a shot. Wins off. We're going to go to overtime. Did the Bucks call a timeout? They did. The Bucks call a timeout with 1.8 seconds remaining in the ball game.
And we talked about it. That's a little too quick, Kevin. Just a hair too quick. Again, you want the ball up in the air, and either you win or you lose. You don't ever want to give them any time at all. 1.8 is an eternity in the NBA. A good inbounds play on the part of the Bucks will give them an opportunity to win this game, of course, on that last second shot, which is exactly what Bernie Bickerstaff did not want to happen.
Well, what they did want to happen, I think, is to get McDaniel on a mismatch with Coleman open inside for that fadeaway jump shot. The shot was there. That was well inside 12 feet in the middle of the lane.
That's a decent shot. They ran a nice play to do it. Again, the timing just a little bit too soon, allowing the Bucks to have this final opportunity to pull this one out.
So Milwaukee with 1 more timeout left.
Yeah, but let's get back to something we talked about before. The last play of the half.
Yes. Let's set it up for you. The Sonics were up by 5 points. The Milwaukee Bucks had the ball down on the Sonics end of the floor in forecourt on the end line. An inbounds pass came to Gerald Henderson, who bobbled the ball, but then managed to lift it up in the air and score it. Now here's the last shot that McDaniel will get.
Then McDaniel, now I'll tell you one thing. If McDaniel had a left hand, he took a fadeaway shot. It's a pretty good shot. And there you see the clock. They get the timeout. The clock did run down a lot further than perhaps it could have had they been a little quicker with the timeout call. But on that play again, if we can rack it up and show it one more time, watch the side towards the bench of the Bucks when McDaniel gets the ball. He could have spun that way and had using his left hand. There was no defender that way. So had X-Man gone to the basket, going to his right with his back to the basket, there was nobody there to pick up because he was being overplayed to the left side. He would have had an opportunity to perhaps go in for a layup, and they would have definitely had to foul him in that situation.
Well, with 4 seconds remaining and time ticking down, and Ben Coleman 6'9", 225 hovering above him, you got to get the best shot you can. And that was a pretty good shot. 103, just under 2 seconds remaining. 1.8 remaining here in the fourth quarter of play. Now, the Bucks will have it out, Rick, at midcourt with some very good perimeter shooters. Sigma and Pierce, most notably. Pierce will line up way down here in the near corner opposite the ball. Sigma, an excellent passer, will bring it inbounds, and the 7-footer Sellers will contest the inbound.
And I like what Bernie's doing there. I like to contest the inbound pass.
Sigma looking for man. Out to Humphries. Tie ball game. Humphries fires a shot. They'll fall short. We go to overtime. The Sonics have a break. They rally from 10 back to draw to overtime at 103-103. In overtime, 103-103. We begin the extra session with the Sonics putting McMillan and Ellis at guards, Sellers to jump, McKee and X-Man along the front line. Randy Brewer, 7'3", will step in against Brad Sellers, joined by Robertson, Roberts, Pierce, and Humphrey. Joe Borgia, Danny Crawford, Bernie Fryer, the officials. Here's the tap. It's controlled by the Sonic Sellers, who volleyballs it out over there to the far wing to Ellis. On top it comes to Nate McMillan. The Bucks have had quite a drought, scoring only 1 field goal in the last 7.5 minutes of play. Here's a nice pass inside to McKee. Turnaround baseliner, missed it on glass. Rebound, X goes up, is hammered. And he and Brewer have some words for each other, as X apparently caught a shoulder right in the mouth.
Yeah, and he hit Brewer in the nose, so they kind of banged each other. But that was an excellent offensive rebound as 3 people were on McKee. That enabled X to get in there, keep it alive. Whack right in the face. He hit Brewer with the left arm. Now he's going to go back up strong. Brewer comes in. He swings down, and then his elbow catches him.
I tell you, Brewer had a nice follow-through on that one, didn't he? Wow. McDaniel to the strike. 28 points here tonight for Xavier McDaniel.
It's one of the problems when you go and you do double or triple team someone. They miss the shot. The team for the offensive team to get a rebound, and unfortunately for the Sonics, X-Man missed the free throw.
X is now 8 of 13 from the strike. This shot up, he missed it. Rebound Roberts. The little things hurt you. 4.5 minutes to go in the overtime. 103-103. Here comes Humphries down the near side, covered by McMillan. Near sideline to Pierce, covered by Sellers. Pierce jab step, now slashes into the lane, rolls up a running right-hander, missed it. Rebound McKee. Good defense, Rick, by Sellers.
Excellent defense that time to be able to create a difficult shot.
McMillan leaves it for McDaniel off the near flank, covered by Roberts. Looking low for Ellis, posting on Robertson. Nice pass inside Ellis, bluffs Robertson into the foul, and maybe more. The shot is up, he missed it.
But you see the difference between Dale and some of the other players that we saw there. Dale, when he had the man out of position, allowed him to come down, make the contact, go into his shot, and almost pulled off a chance for a 3-point play. You know, one thing I like to see the NBA do at the end of the game, take off from football a little bit, Kevin, is to go to to come and look at a replay of a controversial play, like at the end of the first half, to have disallowed that basket and always put the clock in there, because you could avoid a lot of controversy like that by having the clock in and showing those plays again to be able to assist the officials. It's silly to have a game sometimes decided on a play like that, and that was a big factor, obviously, in this one.
Ellis now with 34 points. I disagree with you. I think it would slow the game down. I really do.
Well, it's not going to happen very often, and I think if it means a difference between a win and a loss, they're so important now because competitive as this league is.
Ellis with 35 as he nails both free throws. 105-103. Sonics lead it. 4 minutes to go in the game. Humphries, high post left of the lane to Brewer. Hands off to Humphries. Bobbled it, picks it up, covered by McMillan. Humphries tosses out to Robertson, covered by X. Jab steps, gets airborne, long jumper, good. He snuck it down in there. Alvin Robertson just struck it by the front lip. 20 now for Alvin. 105 to go in the game. X leans in on Roberts. Off to the near wing. Lobs it down. A perfect pass to Ellis to the glass. Shot blocked from behind from the Bucks. Brewer with a big save inside. Humphries out on top, gives to Pierce. Good in the open floor. Challenges Sellers again. Takes him to the inline. Reverses it. Swings it outside to Brewer, but picked up by Humphries. Gets it over to Robertson. Takes it to the inline. Backs up into the guard of McKee. Robertson shot. Air ball. Who's going to get it off? Buck hands out. No! They say it went off Sellers. Out of bounds. It'll be Milwaukee ball.
Oh, a great defense to cause that tough shot as Derek played tremendous defense on Robertson, and then they have that happen to him. His 22nd timeout being called by Del Harris. You know, down the other end, the only reason that play didn't work to Dale Ellis is that they telegraphed the play. I mean, X stood with the ball up over his head telling everybody, I'm looking to make the lob pass into Dale. And so the moment he made the play, Brewer was able to get over there in perfect position. If he had faked to look like he was doing something offensively and then just checked it real quickly, he might have caught them flat-footed and the play could have worked.
Or possibly even a little up fake or hesitation.
Something. You got to look to be offensive minded. You can't stand there and tell everybody in the building, hey, I'm looking to throw the ball inside.
It was a lovely pass, and maybe he could have gotten more from the man who eventually laid it up and had it blocked inside, Dale Ellis. 105 to make it 3:19 to go here in the overtime session. The Bucks have Roberts, Brewer, Robertson, Ricky Pierce, and Jay Humphries on the floor. The Sonics clog the lane defensively. Roberts brings it in. Pierce with it out on the wing. Takes it into the lane. Pulls up. 13-footer rolls off. In. Ricky Pierce now with 35 in the ball game. Stolen inbounds pass. Humphries lays it up and in. Boy, oh boy. 3:07 to go, and the Sonics caught napping there. They're down by 4. Plenty of time left in the overtime. Bucks lead by 4. Humphries just stepped in front of the pass and laid it up and in. McMillan covered by Humphries. Skips it over to Ellis. Hesitates. Guns it to the inline. Pulls up. Long jump shot. Missed it. Rebound. Tapped away from X. Poked away out of bounds. Last touch by Robertson. Although it looked like Ellis had a hand on it, they will give it to the Sonics. 109-105. Ricky Pierce with that last hoop has 35 points and is tied a career high set a couple of nights ago in the loss on the road against Boston. Sonics down 4, bring it inbounds. 2:46 to go in the overtime. McDaniel outraces Roberts to the glass near side, but is fouled as the weak side collapses and Ricky Pierce is there to hammer it. Fourth foul on Pierce. Make it 5 on Pierce now. As McDaniel, Rick has a decided advantage in the open floor, and Roberts much quicker than 2.
No question about that. Let's hope now he can knock these free throws in. He already missed 2 to start this overtime period.
X hits. 29 for X. 109-106. Bucks by 3. Sigma sprints up here to the scores table. He will check in. 2:44 to go in the ball game. Sigma for Brewer. Brewer did what Del Harris wanted him to do, come in and provide a little defense. He made a tremendous block on Dale Ellis. McDaniel's second toss up, missed it. Long rebound, picked up by Robertson. Sonics trail by 3. 2:45 to go in the ball game. Jay Humphries across midcourt. Slashes over here. Forecourt left, covered by McMillan. Down low. Pierce is covered by the 7-footer Sellers. They'll look for Pierce. He's had the hot hand. Humphries reverses, comes over here to the near side on the dribble. Picks up his dribble. McKee all over Humphries. Guns it over to Pierce. Right of the key, covered by Sellers. Pierce pulls up. Long jumper. Missed it, but was leg whipped by Sellers after the shot. They're going to give him 2 shots. He was fouled in the act of shooting. Ricky Pierce, an excellent free throw shooter. He came into tonight's play having hit 11 of 11. He's hit 4 for 4 here in the ball game.
Again, Kevin, when you're playing a guy like this who's a great outside shooter, you have to just get right up on him, make him beat you, putting it on the floor, and you can get some help from your teammates. You can't back off of him. He's too great a shooter.
109-106. Pierce just did roll the free throw in there. Pierce now with 36 here in the game. Bernie Bickerstaff contemplating his teams come from behind. 10 points down in the fourth quarter. They came back to take a lead. Fred Roberts had a chance in regulation to put the Bucks up by 1 at the free throw line. He hit only 1 of the 2 free throws to tie it at 103. That's where we are as we went into overtime anyway. Pierce misses the second free throw. Right now we're at 110-106. The Bucks lead by 4. 2:14 to go in OT. Ellis a 3 from McMillan. Long cast off the mark. Roberts had the rebound poked away by McKee, picked up by Sigma. Out it goes to Humphries, and here come the Bucks with 2 minutes remaining. Sonics down by 4. Humphries outside between the double circles, backing McMillan down. Pierce inside on a switch, covered by McDaniel now. Drifts off to the far flank. Humphries looking for Pierce. Pierce catches it out on top. Head of the key. Looks left. Takes it right. Pulls up. Fires off a shot. And McDaniel got a piece out at the expiration of the 24-second shot clock violation. Sonics will take it on the turnover.
And you saw the difference defense right up on him that time. I mean, that was excellent defense.
Sonics are down by 4 with 1:43 to go in the game. Need a quick hoop. McMillan comes over here to the near side trying to oblige. Looks down low for Ellis, who sets a screen for McKee. McKee open, nice pass inside, but Roberts fouled him before he could get the shot off that fell through.
I'll tell you what, I think that's really, not that he did it intentionally in there, but if he did, it was a very smart play because put them at the free throw line. The Sonics have not shown a great propensity to be knocking him in there at a high rate of efficiency, and it's really hurt them with 3 missed free throws already here in the overtime.
Fred Roberts will come out. He's fouled out of the ball game. Ben Coleman will check back in. Coleman has been effective. In the second half, he had 9 points. 110 to 106. Sonics trail by 4. 1:34 to go in the game, and McKee to the line. Eric shot up, goes off the front, and then drops neatly in. 18 now for McKee. Sonics are 31 of 42 from the free throw line. Derek McKee, second toss up and good. 19 for Derek. The Sonics are down by 2. With 1:33 remaining in the ball game. It's overtime here in Milwaukee. Humphreys to midcourt, anticipating a trap. Wants to take a look at his offense. Now gets across the 10-second line, threads it on top to Sigma, guns it over to the far flank to Pierce. On top to Sigma. Now to Robertson, standing head of the key. Good ball movement. Robertson looking for Pierce, clearing down low. Fronted by Ellis, not open. Robertson out to Humphreys. Shot blocked by McMillan, saved in bounds, but he stepped on the sideline.
2 seconds only to go on the shot clock. They will not reset with the new rule this year, so it's going to be tough for the Bucks to get a real good shot. Del Harris trying to make sure they do, calls a timeout.
1:10-108. 1:12 left in the ball game, and a key possession right here. 1 minute 12 seconds left in overtime. The Bucks lead the Sonics 1:10-108. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Bucks inbound. Sigma inside. Ball bobbled and blocked away as Robertson got up for a shot. Time had expired on the shot clock. Time had expired on the shot clock, and the Sonics will take over, and the Sonics call a timeout. Seattle down by 2 with 1:10 remaining in the ball game.
Well, again, the Sonics getting themselves back in this one with some good defense. That served them very well at times, other than that third period. And now they have an opportunity to go down, execute, plenty of time remaining. They have enough time to score, tie the game, and then they're going to need their defense once again because they will certainly have an opportunity to get the ball back again offensively.
Final scores in the NBA tonight. New Jersey on the road, defeated by New York, 107 to 105. The Knicks come away with a home victory over their crosstown rivals. Houston 119, Denver 118. That's at the Summit in Houston with 3 minutes left. They're in overtime. 3:51 remaining in the first quarter. The Lakers lead at Golden State 16 to 15. Keep in mind the Chicago Bulls will take on the Sonics. Rick and I will be there with you on the simulcast on Saturday night from the stadium in Chicago. The Chicago Bulls tomorrow must travel to New Jersey to play the Nets. The Sonics will have a day's rest tomorrow and will be taking on the Chicago Bulls on the second of 2 games. They return from the road from the East. Now down 2. Bernie Bickerstaff, map strategy. Rick?
Well, that's a good shot we had over there. What's going to happen? I'm trying to tell you what he was going to do, but it looks as though they're trying to do something on the right side of the basket here, and I would imagine they'll be looking for somebody coming off of a screen, an opportunity then to send the screener down low, and you've got the option of hitting the guy open off the screen or somebody down inside. It's just a matter of making the right decision with the basketball, but they'll take whatever they can get at any time that they can get it right now because they are definitely going to get 2 and even perhaps 3 possessions in this final minute and 10 seconds.
Free throw shooting has been a factor for the Seattle Supersonics. They've outscored the Milwaukee Bucks 32-30 from the line. The Sonics have had 43 attempts while the Bucks have had 35. Sonics are 0 for 5 from the field in the overtime session. You can see the scoring. Ellis with 35, Pierce with 36. Sonics bring it inbounds. 109 remaining in the overtime. Seattle down by 2. McMillan handles the basketball. With 1:04 remaining in the game, 17 on the shot clock. McKee near flank. On top to Sellers. Sonics will work the clock. Working it around the perimeter. Ellis covered by Robertson. Skips it over to McDaniel. 4 court left. Nate with 7. Nate with 8 with a 6 on the shot clock. Inside to Ellis. Ball poked away. The triple team. Controlled inbounds. Coleman saves to Sigma. Robertson has it. He's tied up. Do we have a jump ball? We have a foul. We have a foul in backcourt on a Sonic as Seattle did not get a shot off. Down 2 with 45 seconds remaining. The Bucks will bring it the length of the floor now.
Well, obviously very poor execution and some good defense on the part of the Bucks that time, but still plenty of time remaining. They just need to play the good defense once again.
It's a 2-point lead for Milwaukee. 43 seconds remaining in the game. Sigma cross court to Humphries. Take a look at the defense. It just does clear the 10-second line. Humphries backs up along the near sideline, covered by McMillan. Sigma runs for the ball. Humphries won't take that option. Instead, threads a pass over to Robertson in the open floor. Takes it left, moves right to the inline, dribble off his foot, out of bounds. Sonic basketball, and Bernie will call another timeout. And the Sonics will set it up again with a chance to tie. This time with 25 seconds remaining in the ball game.
Well, now they have a chance to try and execute a little bit better than the last time down the floor. And Milwaukee, more than likely, will get an opportunity to win this game, even should the Sonics score, unless they happen to get one of those rare 4-point plays. But right now, Bernie will settle for 2 to get a tie and hope for another overtime. But he's going to have to rely on the defense again if the offense is able to execute.
Well, this is the key, obviously, to winning on the road, is to have the kind of composure down the stretch in these types of situations where you have a man who can handle the basketball well, know when to make the appropriate pass, is able to execute the appropriate pass, and then have a man who can score in crunch time.
Yeah, well, one of the problems the last time was that the ball was picked up off of the dribble, and when you do that and you get a good defensive team, you swarm the man with the ball. It makes it very difficult to find an opening if everybody's playing tough defense. The most important thing in those type of situations is to go ahead and try to keep your dribble alive, which allows you the luxury of being able to penetrate and do something, move to another area, get a better angle. But boy, once you pick it up, you create a lot of problems for yourself and you help the defense out a lot.
That's what happened on the previous play. When Ellis finally got the ball inside, the Bucks were able to collapse on Dale Ellis, and the ball was stripped out of his hands. But Alvin Robertson on a dribble drive to the lane, dribbled off his foot out of bounds. And here in Milwaukee,
that's really going to be a shame.
Celebrating prematurely.
Well, it's going to be a shame if the Sonics aren't able to go ahead and pull this one out somehow by maybe going to another overtime period, because other than that third period, they really have played a very good basketball game, and just a few little errors here and there, their inability to make the close-in shots, starting off 0 for 10 in the ball game, the tough call at the end of the half. They just had a lot of opportunities that have really hurt them. Missed free throws here in the overtime has killed them.
110-108. The Bucks lead Seattle by 2 with 25 seconds remaining. X-Man will bring it inbounds. McKee, Sellers, Ellis, along with McMillan.
Brown too close to X, wasn't giving him 3 feet.
Sigma along with Alvin Robertson, Jay Humphries, Ben Coleman, and Tony Brown on the floor. X looking for a man to flash to the ball. McKee does, holds it. Sigma on it. McKee hands off to McMillan. McMillan will dribble outside while the Sonics drop down low to set the offense. Ellis comes up on McKee's screen. Robertson right there on the switch. McMillan picks up his dribble. Humphries all over him. Over goes Dallas out of the baseline. The shot they wanted, missed it short. McKee the rebound. 9 seconds remaining in overtime. Sonics down 2. Sellers baseline shot. He dropped it home. We're tied at 110 with 5 seconds remaining. The Bucks will have the ball. Sellers drops the baseliner through there, but it was set up on the rebound by McKee off the Ellis screen.
Yeah, it was, boy. And I'll tell you, that first pass that got to Dale Ellis was a tough one, because Albert Robertson had a pretty good angle on it. Fortunately, he got in, but Robertson did a good job of making Dale take a tough shot. But the big play right now for the Sonics was certainly the offensive rebound of Derek McKee. And then the X-Man had a chance to maybe get a little impatient and throw up the shot when he received it, but he saw Sellers in the right corner of his eye with good peripheral vision and knew that Sellers had a better look at it. And Brad Sellers knocked in. Very big shot for Seattle to force the Bucks into this situation where they have to make a basket or force overtime number 2.
5 seconds remaining. 110 the score. Derek McKee, talking about McKee now with that big controlled tip and the rebound on the Ellis miss, has 10 rebounds for the night. 20 points for McKee. From the line, he is 5 of 8. McKee with a very, very big night here for the Sonics.
And remember, now they're playing also with Michael Cage, who was fouled out of the ball game. Michael's sitting on the bench right now, and that certainly doesn't help him any. But hey, his substitute, the guy who came in for him, just hit the big shot to tie it up here once again. I'll tell you, these guys wanted to go to another overtime. I think there's a conspiracy to try and have me get no sleep tonight.
Where are you headed tomorrow, Rick?
Well, I got a 6:05 flight out of Chicago to Phoenix to do a game for TNT, and so I have to drive to Chicago tonight, so this could be like no sleep.
See you in Chicago Saturday morning, huh? Take a couple of toothpicks with you. 110 is the score with 5 seconds remaining in the first overtime. Free throw shooting in the OT. Sonics 5 of 8, Milwaukee 1 of 2. Those 3 misses, very big misses for the Sonics. Field goal shooting. Sonics are 0 for 6. Milwaukee 50%, 3 of 6. You mentioned Sellers getting the big shot. Defensively, he's been checking Ricky Pearson, doing a pretty good job.
Well, yeah, we've obviously hit that one field goal that we needed at that time, but the free throws were good because it's because they're going inside and creating opportunities for themselves like they did in the first half. The third period, they didn't do a lot of that, but right now it's defensive time again for Seattle.
Del Harris takes a deep breath and sends Tony Brown out there to bring the ball inbounds. Sonics with the same 5 they had before the timeout. 110. 5 seconds remaining in overtime. Tied in Milwaukee. Tony Brown to get the ball inbounds. What have we got? A timeout called by the Bucks?
No, I think they're saying that X-Man took up the slack and they didn't give him the 3 feet.
Yeah, you're right. And it's a delay of game warning. Danny Crawford will back off X. And now Tony Brown will be given the ball again. 5 seconds remaining. We're tied. This is overtime. Ball comes into Humphries. Oh, he's got an opening. Pulls up. McMillan holds his ground. Quickly deflects the shot. It rolls up. Missed shot. Inside McMillan the rebound, and that ends the overtime. Del Harris wanted a foul, but I'll tell you what, McMillan played excellent defense on that Humphries jump shot.
You're absolutely correct. That was terrific defense. Didn't get up in the air. Made him take a tough shot. Kevin, we might have had a real big break for the Sonics at that last shot that was taken. Now watch Derek McKee as he goes up here on this shot to get the rebound. He goes into the net and hits the backboard as the ball was still up on the cylinder. That could very easily have been called goaltending, which would have ended the ball game.
Quite right. Bernie Fryer was on the baseline. Apparently his determination was that the ball was not in the cylinder. And a good thing because it forces a second overtime.
I think why he let it go. It looked like Derek might have gotten, pushed a little bit. Didn't want to call the foul, and so he didn't want to make that other call to end the ball game.
Good discretion shown by Bernie Fryer as we go to the second overtime. Tied at 110. The Sonics win the draw. They win the jump ball. Sellers deflecting it out there to McMillan. McMillan left to the key. They set the offense. McMillan over to X. Off of the key screen. Raises, fires, hits. Xavier McDaniel. 31 now in the ball game for X. 112 to 110. That's the way to get it started with 4.5 minutes remaining in the second overtime. The Sonics leading by 2. Alvin Robertson outside sets the floor. Humphries with the ball now at the far flank. Hash mark picked up by McMillan. On a switch, they bat the ball away. McMillan getting it free to McDaniel. Was he held by Brewer? He was. Good call. Good call by Bernie Fryer. And the foul on Brewer. And I tell you again, it's set up by McMillan's play.
Defense. Hey, I'll tell you, defense is what wins for you. Bernie has to be thrilled of what they've done. Again, for that, other than that third quarter lapse that they had, they have really played outstanding defense tonight.
Nate McMillan with 2 big defensive plays. The one a moment ago on Humphries and that one just now to force that turnover. Sonics lead by 2 in the second overtime session. 4:15 remaining. Here's McMillan with the ball. Sneaking up from behind is Pierce to deflect it out of bounds.
And Nate's saying, hey, guys, somebody tell me when he comes over to double me. I had no idea he was coming.
Sonics will bring it in bounds with 12 seconds on the shot clock. 4:12 remaining in the overtime. This is the second overtime session, and Seattle is up by 2. McDaniel and McKee outside the 3-point perimeter, covered by Brewer. That's a mismatch. McKee down low to Sellers. Backs down on Alvin Robertson. Going to use his size. A 7-footer leaps. A fire from 10. Missed it. Rolls out. That was deep inside and then kicked out of there. Brown clears the rebound for Alvin Robertson, who is turned outside. They give it to Humphries. Off it goes far wing to Brown. On top to Pierce. Pierce covered by Ellis. Inside mid-post to Brewer. He swings up the left-handed hook that goes. Brewer with 9. Wasn't pretty, but it was effective. 112 to score. In the second overtime session, 3:41 remaining. McMillan with it out on the point. Reaching in, trying to poke it away is Humphries. McMillan whirls away from it. Over to McKee. Rocks left. Takes it into the lane and slams it home over Brewer.
And a smart play because they got him facing the basket with Brewer on him, and McKee, there's no way that Brewer can guard him in that situation.
114 to 112. Sonics by 2. 3:20 to go. Second overtime. Pierce with it. Covered by McMillan. Straight arms him over to the far corner. He's trapped. Gives it outside to Robertson. 12 on the shot clock. Robertson slashes inside. Pulls up. 8-footer. Won't go. Rebound McKee. He had position on Brewer inside.
They got to go to him again right now. Go to him again. Bring it down and get it to him on the left side. Face up against him.
Sonics by 2. 3 minutes remaining in the double overtime. McMillan with it. Looking for Ellis off the far flank. McKee is down low. McKee breaks open on the wing. They go one-on-one. McKee now doubled down as Humphries reaches in. McKee picks up the dribble to McMillan. Back to McKee. Nobody sneaks in. Here's the jump, and McKee stops it beautifully after McMillan. He extends his arms, keeps the ball as far away from Robertson as he can. Alvin Robertson turned the tide of this game in the third quarter with his defense. McMillan, though, has come up with a couple of key defensive plays for the Sonics.
Big mismatch inside. Humphries on McKee.
McKee with the ball on the end line. Sigma picks him up from the weak side. McKee outside with 8 on the shot clock to Sellers. End line right. Down low to Ellis. cleanly. Back come the Bucks, trailing by 2. Robertson gallops to the glass, gives to Brown, nearly blew the lane, but laid it in. Brown with 4. 1:14, 2:12 to go in the double overtime session. McMillan launches a long pass off to the far flank to Ellis. On top to McMillan. 2 minutes remaining in the double overtime session. We are tied. McMillan tries to race by a lunging Humphreys. Guns one inside. Ellis clearing inside. Rolls it up. Missed the finger roll, but was fouled. Will go to the line with a chance at 2 now.
And Dale's mad at himself because he knows he should have made that shot. He had an easy opportunity. He wasn't hit all that hard, and he was disappointed with his effort.
Ellis from the free throw line has now attempted 8 shots here tonight, and he's hit 7 of those.
But the big thing is that Ricky Pierce is out of this ball game now with his 6th personal foul.
Pierce is gone, and Roberts is gone. Both out with fouls. 2 of the starters for Del Harris on the pine. Michael Cage has 6 fouls. He fouled out of the overtime section, and here comes Ellis to the line for 2. Sonics have McMillan along with Ellis at the guards, McKee, McDaniel, and Sellers across the front line. Ellis to the stripe, his tosses up, and he missed it.
You know, it just kills me. I mean, free throws are a big thing with me. They always have been because it's such an easy way to win basketball games that are close if you can make a high percentage, and it's the only shot in the game that you get to shoot with no one bothering you.
We're tied at 1:14. Ellis breaks the tie as he hits the second free throw. 36 for Dale. 1:57 remaining. We're in double overtime here in Milwaukee. Along with Rick Barry, this is Kevin Calabro. Down the far sideline comes Humphreys. Gets a screen from Sigma. They double team Humphreys. McMillan and Ellis all over it. They go to Sigma. Inside to Coleman. Foul! He scores! He goes to the line for a 1. Sellers tried to intentionally foul him, but you can't stop a man by grabbing him around the waist.
No, you grab both arms is what you do when you get yourself beaten.
So Ben Coleman steps to the line. Coleman had 9 points all in the second half of regulation. Coleman at the stripe tonight has hit 5 of 6. 1:16 to 1:15. The Bucks lead by 1. 1:43 to go in the double overtime session. Coleman's shot is up. He got it. Bernie will call a timeout. 12 for Coleman. The Bucks lead by 2. 1:17 to 1:15 with 1:43 remaining in double overtime. Free throw shooting for the Sonics in the 2 overtimes. They are 6 of 10. In the first overtime, they were 5 of 8. Here on the second overtime, 1 of 2. That was Dale Ellis' performance at the line. The margin is 2. The Bucks lead it. 1:17, 1:15. 1:43 remaining in second overtime. Sonic basketball. McKee will hand off to McMillan at the 10-second line. McMillan will back Humphreys down. Free throw line left. Nate turns his side on Humphreys. Looking for Ellis. Open on the wing. Now he drops down low. They give to McKee, covered by Coleman. McKee baseline left, and we've got an illegal defense call on the Milwaukee Bucks.
That's a technical now. That's their second.
And the Sonics will shoot free
break there.
throws.
And knock this one in by Dale, and then you score, and now they've got to go ahead and play with that 1-point deficit, and that makes a big difference.
Dale Ellis has 36 points in tonight's ball game. In the overtime sessions, he is 3 for 4 from the line. Missed a big one a moment ago. The shot is up, and it trembles in there off the back iron. 37 now for Dale Ellis, far and away his season high. 1:17, 1:16, and the Sonics are down by 1 with 1:27 remaining in the second overtime session. McMillan will bring it inbounds to Sellers. Sonics trail by 1. They've got the ball. Sellers trying to hand off to McMillan, does now. McMillan twists free from Humphreys. Dave McMillan brings the ball between the legs on the dribble. Didn't have to. Nice backdoor lob pass. McKee makes it rib high and slams it home. What a pass from McMillan, who nodded to McKee, and he did a quick flash backdoor cut to the end line, and the pass was right there, Rick. Great play. 1:18, 1:17. Brown with the ball over to Robertson near side. Rocker steps right, takes a left to the end line, takes McDaniel. Shot blocked by X. Picked up by Coleman, who slams it home. Coleman with 14. X made a big play on Robertson, but Coleman right there to jam it home. 1:19, 1:18. Bucks by 1. 54 seconds remaining in the second overtime session. Sonics trail by 1. McMillan working on Humphreys. McMillan looking off to the far side, looking for McKee. McKee open, covered by Sigma. Derek with the ball on the open floor. 8 on the shot clock. Sellers with it. 5 on the shot clock. McDaniel 5 on the shot clock. Baseline jumper. Good! McDaniel hit a shot. Wow, what a shot. Fading on the baseline.
Defense again with 33 seconds to go. Good defense. Stop them. You get it back, they have to foul you.
120, 119 in the second overtime. 27 seconds remaining. Humphries covered by McMillan outside. Double teamed out to Brown. Down low. Coleman all alone. He pump-fakes the Sonics into the air and draws a foul. He'll get two.
Coleman has been such an important part of the Bucks' ability to stay in this ball game here in the second half. He has just played an outstanding ball game, and that's made a tremendous difference. You expect Ricky Pierce to have a big game. You expect things that Alvin Robertson has been doing to happen, but you don't expect Ben Coleman to come in here and have this type of a ball game. That's a major factor. Can you imagine how the Sonics would feel if they could get Olden Powell needs to come in and have a game like this sometime?
Coleman with 14 points, 6 rebounds, 6 of 7 from the line, 4 of 4 from the line. And the Sonics will call a timeout to let Ben Coleman, now in his 4th year in the NBA, played for Philadelphia last year, to give him a chance to think a little bit about the toss.
But also Bernie's doing this to tell his team what to do in the event that he should miss the free throw, set things up, tell him exactly what the scenario is. If he misses the second free throw after making the first, we got a tie game. You put him to go down and say, here's what we want to do. We'll run, we'll play this, and go for the last shot and either have a win or go to the third overtime. And should he miss the first and then miss the second, he can then have him geared to do the same thing.
Coleman has only appeared in 2 games in the Bucks this year. 2 of the 3 they played. 9 minutes average for Ben, and he was 0 for 1 from the stripe coming into tonight's ball game. 0 for 1 from the free throw line for the season. Coleman averaging 4 points.
He shot it exceptionally well from the free throw line, but these are some big ones here, and in some very, very tight situation. The first one will be the toughest.
Coleman 6 of 7 from the stripe. The toss is up. He missed. Now all they can hope for is the tie, or obviously the win if they can come away with the rebound.
Now this one is even tougher after you miss the first one.
And if he misses, you have to screen the shooter. You've got to screen and seal everybody out of there if you're the Sonics. Coleman hits the free throw. We are tied at 120-120. Bernie will call a timeout. 20 seconds remaining in the second overtime session.
Well, obviously Bernie wasn't pleased enough to think that they had the guys geared in as to what to do. You know, should they make the second free throw after missing the first one? Now they had to use another time up. Another time up to get this opportunity to see what to do. Again, you're going to just play for the last shot. And I, again, don't think the ball should be in the air until about 2 seconds, 3 seconds to go, so that if you either make it and win the game, or you miss it, or there's only like fractions of a second left. You don't want to give them a couple of seconds like they did the last time, that one other time.
Rick, when you discuss strategy with coaches, I know the Sonics a lot of times last year in this type of same situation, after that made free throw, with about 20 seconds to go in possession in a situation like this, either tied or down by a couple of points, would immediately push the ball up the floor to catch the defense napping.
A lot of times that can happen, and obviously Bernie didn't want that to take place, feeling that he wanted to be darn certain that the guys did what was the right thing to do, because if you tell a guy to do that, a guy might make a bad decision, take a shot he shouldn't be taking because he doesn't have an uncontested layup, and wind up giving the ball back to the opponent. So Bernie's probably just wanted to play a little bit safer this time and make sure that they execute the way that is necessary to pull this game out. Now, of course, they have the added difficulty of having to get the ball inbounds. It's not always easy to get the ball inbounds, and I'm sure that Del Harris will come up with some good defense here on the part of his team to try and prevent that from happening and get the 5-second violation. But he's sure telling his team, guys, tough defense here. Let's go ahead. Let's look for certain people. They'll double up. They'll rotate, what have you. But they're telling them, whatever you do not foul anybody. And we have to play good defense. We'll go to overtime, or if we get a chance, call a timeout if they miss the shot the moment you touch it.
Bernie Bickerstaff huddling with Casey Jones and Tom Newell, getting the strategy map, and then they went in to discuss with the players what it is they wanted them to do.
And what they're doing is taking the ball down at the far end because they feel it's a lot easier. You can get down there and run the baseline and have an opportunity to get it in. It's a lot easier to get the ball in there, and with 20 seconds you have plenty of time to still go and flow into your offense.
One timeout left for the Sonics, tied at 120 into second overtime session. Sonics bring it in cleanly. The Bucks will just kind of pressure McMillan a little bit in backcourt. McMillan across midcourt, trapped. He's going to get rid of it. Down low, and it's breaking wide open. Shot blocked by Coleman, rim high. What a play. No foul called, and Del Harris will call a timeout with 6 seconds remaining. They're saying there was no foul as Coleman came from behind McDaniel to block the shot. Let's take a look at that one.
This is unbelievable. What a great pass on the part of Nate McMillan to see the open man, the X-Man. He goes up for the dunk from behind. Coleman got the front part of the ball.
Sure
That's
did.
just a great play. It did not look like there was any arm there. We've got another angle from a little wider shot. We'll take a look. There's the great pass inside. Coleman quick to react. The X-Man wanted to go for the dunk. He gathers himself as he goes up strong. Here comes Coleman. Boom. Ball. That's great. Official was right on it. Terrific play. They wanted a foul. It was almost a foul, really, on the X-Man hitting Robertson with the ball. But again, that you take that play if you can get it, an easy layup, which it should have been. But X, because he wanted to dunk it, took more time to gather himself. If he had just caught it and gone up and laid it in, he would have scored it. It would have been too late for Coleman to get there. Because he wanted to dunk, he took that extra time to gather. That gave Coleman a chance to get there, make the big play, and even worse, 5.8 seconds left for the Bucks to still win this one.
120 to 120 is the score. We went to the first overtime session tied at 103-103. At the end of the first overtime, 110 to 110 was the score. Ben Coleman has been the key here off the bench. 15 points, a very big block shots, and about a half dozen rebounds here in the ballgame for Ben Coleman. Coleman was a man who, with the Philadelphia 76ers a year ago, really hurt the Sonics. He had a season high last year, 11 boards against the Sonics out in Philly, and was a real monster on the offensive glass in the first quarter of that game. So he certainly is no stranger to the Sonics. 120-120 the score. 5.8 seconds remaining. The Bucks will have it at midcourt in the crowd of 14,102. Many have stayed, and most are on their feet. Tony Brown now will bring it inbounds. Sellers, the 7-footer doing jumping jacks in front of Brown. He gets it into Humphries. Humphries with 3, with 2. Did he walk? No, he got a foul before the shot. Foul before the shot. It will be on the Sonics. Nate McMillan.
I'll tell you what, that is a terrible call. You watch, we have this right angle. If we got this replay on an angle, I guarantee you watch the right arm of Humphries on this drive, and he pushes McMillan off, who had great defensive position. This is a shame. Watch the right arm now. Let's see if we can get it. Watch his right arm as he gets a little past the free throw line. Right there. You see that push with the right arm? That knocked McMillan back. He had no angle over here to call that. He was screened out by the man Humphries. That's a terrible call.
You're absolutely right. With 3 seconds remaining, Humphries to the line. His toss is short. He short-armed it. Oh, my. 3 seconds remaining in the second overtime session. Xavier McDaniel whispers some words to Humphries. 120-120, 3 seconds remaining. Humphries to the line. Humphries, an 80%er from the line. Short-armed the first, the second one up. He missed it! He missed the shot. X goes for the rebound. Catches it inbounds. Was tripped up. And time has expired.
No, he tried to call a timeout. He called a timeout.
He did call a timeout.
There should be time on the clock. He called a timeout.
Well, we're going to the third overtime. They wipe out the timeout. It looked like X had called it, and it looked like Borgia was going to signify a timeout. But they say no. 120 to 120 is the score. We're going to go to the third overtime session. No timeout given to the Sonics.
Did they have one? That's the big question. If
I think they had one left.
I mean, I wasn't quite sure what the situation was. If they had one left, that was unfortunate because it looked like he was calling for the timeout. If he didn't have the timeout, then it would have been a technical foul.
Yeah, and you're in big trouble.
There's that second missed free throw. Good inside position on the screening off. Get the long rebound. Kicked out by Nate McMillan. Now the X-Man tracks it down. Now watch when he gets possession. See the clock in the right of the quarter. Now he's saying timeout, timeout right there. There still was 9/10 of a second left. Now the official puts his hand up. He was yelling it as he had the ball. The official couldn't hear him because he couldn't see that his mouth was going because his back was to him.
But the key there is Humphries with 3.5 seconds remaining in the second overtime, an 80%er to the line for 2 after a very bad call. Signal at the near side on Nate McMillan. Missed both free throws.
That is what you call the old cliche. Poetic justice if I ever saw it, because the call against Nate McMillan stunk. And I can't say it any more than that. And I'm glad, that I can get to say that now when we're doing this, because I can't get away with that when I'm doing the other broadcast. It was. And you saw in the replay. The man had no angle. It was a perfect replay to show the man screened off. And you even saw McMillan pull away. Why did he go? Why did all of a sudden the distance between he and the guy he was guarding, Humphries, increase? It's because Humphries put the right arm out and knocked him off.
We are in the third overtime session. We are tied at 120-120.
Why don't we go out and get something to eat, talk a little bit? I'll just go right to the plane.
Let's just order a pizza and watch some hoops here. Boy, I hope you're with us back in Seattle on our This has been a wonderful game. Brewer and Sellers at midcourt. The tap to far side, out of bounds it goes. Bernie Fryer, it's your call. Joe Borgia. Bernie defers to you. They'll
Seattle.
get to Seattle. Yeah. 120 to 120. 5 minutes remaining in third overtime session. The Bucks are 3 for 7 from the line in the overtime sessions.
Well, free throws have killed both teams in the overtime. Both teams could have won this ball game had they made some free throws, or in the overtimes.
In the third overtime session, along with Rick Perry, this is Kevin Calabro. 120-120. X-Man with the ball. Backs, turns to the 8-foot floater of Mr. Short. Coleman into the rebound, stolen away by Sellers. Saves it inbounds as he tippy-toed the inline out to McDaniel. Gives to Ellis, rushes inside, steps by Sigma, underhand finger roll for 2. Dale with 39.
Got lead in the right thigh a little bit. Looks like he's okay though.
Dale with 39 in the ball game. 122 to 120. The Sonics lead it in the third overtime session. Humphries. Humphries giving up to Tony Brown. He nailed the 15-footer. Brown with only 6 in the game. 122 to 122. 4:16 to go now. Third overtime in Milwaukee. McMillan with it. Covered by Jay Humphries. McMillan over to X. Off the screen for McKee. Brown steps through it. McMillan on top. Passes over to Ellis. Far flank on top of McMillan with 5. With 4 on the shot clock. After Ellis. Fakes right. Moves left. Gets airborne. Long jump shot. Missed it. Tapped up rim. High by McMillan. Missed it. Rebound Humphries to a breaking Robertson. Challenges X to the glass. Shot blocked from behind by Ellis, but a foul call. It will be on Xavier McDaniel, and that will send Alvin Robertson to the stripe. Now that's only the third foul on McDaniel.
Well, again, that time there was not very good execution by the Sonics offensively to have to take the shot that Dale took, and that hurt them as it resulted in the Bucks getting this opportunity for Alvin Robertson at the free throw line. Dale, I just saw him most saying something to the official. He felt that he got hit on the arm in that shot, but hey, that was not a good shot that they had to take there.
Robertson wastes no time, flipping up 2 free throws, both dropped through neatly. 124 to 122. Bucks lead it. Ellis with the ball, left-hand side of the key. 3:45 to go in the third overtime session. McMillan near flank, covered by Jay Humphries. McKee comes out to screen for him. McMillan rolls off of it into the paint, trips by Humphries, rolls the underhander up, missed it, but was hammered, and will head up to the stripe.
Well, I like to see penetration. It always creates so many problems for the defense, and now, of course, it just becomes a free throw shooting contest, and that's why you have to be good free throw shooters to be able to win the close ball games.
Foul on Coleman was his 5th.
You know, the first 2 overtimes, the Sonics got off to the early lead and only had it to see that dissipate and then trail and come back to tie. This time, the Bucks went out.
Nate McMillan hoping to tie it up with a second free throw that's airborne and drops through. Nate gets both free throws in there. We're tied at 124. Sonics pressing the ball full court. McKee on the ball handler, Sigma gets it into Robertson. Now the Sonics quickly drop back, showing a trap to Robertson. Now they drop even further back to fill the lane as Robertson works the far point on Ellis. Robertson has it poked out of his hands, and a late call, a push call on Dale Ellis.
Well, actually, they came back and tied. The Sonics all 3 times have gotten the first points of the overtime and haven't been able to come away with the victory. This has been a really exciting ball game.
124 all in the third overtime session with 3:24 remaining. Tony Brown with the ball out high. Brown working with it left of the key. Ricky Pierce is fouled out of the game. Robertson's fouled out, and Cage is out for the Sonics. Robertson left of the lane, hands off to Sigma. Pump fakes the baseliner. Lunging it for McMillan. Sigma spins away, fires the baseliner, leaves it short, and McMillan with the rebound. Nate made a nice play there to force Sigma turn the opposite way that he wanted to turn.
Nate's done a great job defensively and on the boards here in the overtime period.
On top at the point, it goes to Ellis, over to McKee. Working at Coleman, far side. Coleman stops it. They swing it near side to McDaniel. Jab steps left, spins, backs up, wastes time. 7 on the shot clock. Down low, it goes to Ellis. Turns, triple team. Steps between 2 defenders and missed the shot. He got there but couldn't finish it. Brown with a rebound. Loops it out ahead for Humphries. 2:40 remaining. We're tied at 124. Sigma measures the 3 that looks good and won't go. Poke free out there by McKee into the hands of Sellers, and Bickerstaff will call a timeout.
Bernie's got to be careful not to get a technical foul. He's really upset at the official because of the penetration moves inside. Ellis, as you remember, was inside once before. They said that he had it stripped away from him when he had a layup, and this time he had 3 guys hanging on him, it looked like, and no foul call.
2:32 remaining in the overtime. 124 is the score. And a reminder, the Sonics on November the 18th take on the Chicago Bulls with who else? Michael Jordan. They'll be in town, and the only way you can get a ticket is by purchasing a Sonics season ticket package right now. Call them at 206-281-5800.
Another overtime game tonight down in Houston. The Rockets fell short against the Denver. Houston Rockets against the Nuggets. Overtime, 128-127. That was a good ball game there in the Midwest Division. Lakers trailing Golden State at the half, 49-55.
The Knicks tonight beat New Jersey in the Madison Square Garden. New Jersey must travel tomorrow back to the Meadowlands where they host the Chicago Bulls. So the Bulls come into Saturday's game on the second half of a two-game weekend, and the Sonics will have a day's rest. But after this triple overtime,
they need it.
Wow. 124. We're going to jump on a bus, leave from Milwaukee, drive to Chicago about 90 minutes south of here, and prepare for the Bulls on Saturday. The Sonics would love to have a victory in their hip pocket to snap a 6-game road losing streak here at Milwaukee. Look at the scoring. Ellis with 39, McDaniel 33, McKee 24, Pierce on the bench with 36. He is fouled out. Robertson on the floor with 22, and Coleman, as Rick pointed out, a real surprise off the bench for Del Harris with 15 big points and a tremendous block of Xavier McDaniel to send this game into the third overtime session. 2:28 remaining. 124 Sonic ball. McMillan across midcourt. Humphries really leaning on McMillan. Nate turns, looks inside for Ellis, posting up, catches, turns on Robertson, shot blocked by Coleman, ball tap free, who's going to get it? Humphries and Ellis vie for it. Danny Crawford will call a jump ball.
I tell you, Coleman has been such a force for this team, both offensively and defensively, just like Robertson here in the second half. These two guys deserve a lot of credit for what they've done for Milwaukee thus far.
Robertson and Ellis will jump it up, and Ellis beats him on the draw, tapping it out here to McDaniel. They give it at the point to McMillan.
We got to break that time. I thought that ball hit the chest of Ellis.
124. McKee on top, head of the key, covered by Coleman. Over to Ellis, takes it to the inline, beats him there, tries to reverse one up, is fouled. Was it before the shot?
See, that's what you have to do, though, Kevin. You've got to go ahead and take advantage of a mismatch like that. You know, Jack is much more mobile than Brewer, but he's not going to be as mobile as Xavier McDaniel. So now they're able to go ahead and pick up the foul.
On shooting foul, Sonics will bring it in bounds. McDaniel to McKee. Sigma with 4 fouls. 124. 2 minutes left in the triple overtime. McMillan out to McKee, looking low for Ellis. Not open, fronted by Robertson. McMillan works the far point. They're still looking for Ellis inside. Illegal defense on the Bucks. Sonics will shoot a free throw and have possession with a tie ball game at 124. A minute 50 remaining. Here comes Ellis in the triple overtime to shoot the toss.
See, Harris, for those of you on TV, trying to yell for the 3-second violation against the Sonics as Ellis was trying to post up, but that time it was Jack Sigma who dropped off, and X-Man trying to go to help, and X was way out high. It was a good call.
Dale Ellis will step to the line. 9 of 11 from the strike tonight. Dale measures this one. His tosses up, and rocks around and falls in. Dale now with 40. The Sonics lead it 125-124 with a minute 50 remaining in the third overtime in Milwaukee. McDaniel will bring it in bounds to Sellers. Hands off to Nate McMillan. McMillan takes Humphries over to the near sideline. Down low. McKee battling with Sigma. Ellis on the in-line. Screens for McKee. They try to go back door to him. On top they give instead to Ellis. Ellis covered by Robertson. 10 on the shot clock. A minute 34 to go in the double overtime. In the triple overtime. McKee in the open floor. Jabs right. Takes it left inside. Swerves in with a running right-hander. Will go. Tapped out of bounds by Ben Coleman. Tapped out of bounds by Coleman. It'll be Sonic ball.
That was very obvious, but again, they faced up against Jack Sigma, and McKee was able to get in there. Unfortunately, it didn't drop.
Just could not finish it. 125-124. The Sonics by 1. A minute 24 to go in the game. A fresh 24 on the shot clock for McMillan. Nate out high. They work off the ball on the weak side with a series of screens and picks that frees Ellis out here between the double circles. Over to McDaniel, off the Sellers screen, hesitates, heads to the inline, gets back to Brad. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Sellers leans in, missed his shot. Ball is free. Humphries picks it up. Sonics by 1. Robertson breaks the other one into the lane. Leader won't go. Ellis with a rebound. Sonic ball. 53 seconds to go in the game. 125-124. Boy, Robertson had the shot that they were dreaming about, but he left it short as he approached the glass. McMillan over to Ellis, immediately turns, launches. He won't go.
made the mistake of not getting the ball up over his head high because he allowed Humphries to sneak in and get him trapped. But of course, he's going to be able to control the tip. Now, whether or not he tips it to one of the Sonics, we'll find out in just a second or so.
He doesn't want to tip it behind him, I don't think.
No, but you got to get a position where you screen guys off. McMillan now facing you for those on TV. He's got to screen Coleman off, and so does Ellis against Robertson.
Don't allow him to break away. Coleman does break away, but the ball is tapped out of his hands by Ellis and off his knee out of bounds. It'll be Milwaukee basketball. Coleman, the bigger of the two, simply put his left arm on McMillan and pushed his way by him.
Well, again, not good execution that time on the part of the Sonics. As you could see, Robertson trying to make the move as the ball was being tossed. He may have broken the plane before the ball was actually thrown up there, but that's a call you're very rarely going to get. But even Coleman was able to sneak in there, Kevin, as we talked about. It was obvious that that's what they were going to attempt to do because that was the obvious place that the tip should go.
125, 124, 33 seconds left in the triple overtime. Let's pause 10 seconds to identify the stations on the radio network of the Seattle Supersonics Broadcasting Network. With Rick Barry, Kevin Calabro in Milwaukee tonight at the Bradley Center. Glad you've stuck with us on this one. The Sonics in triple overtime have a 1-point lead, but the Bucks have the ball with 33 seconds remaining in the OT.
Well, now they have to, again, rely on their defense. They've done it so many times. You just wonder how many times you can go to the well and still come up with some water. And if they can do it, they then force, again, the Bucks in the situation where they have to go for a steal on the inbounds pass or come up and get a foul. Anything can happen with 33.8 seconds remaining in this ball game. We've seen a lot of strange things happen already.
Both teams had a day off yesterday, so they have had sufficient rest. Keep in mind, the Bucks are playing without Ricky Pierce and without Fred Roberts, two of their starters. They fouled out earlier, and Michael Cage fouled out in the first overtime session for the Sonics.
Well, yeah, certainly that can hurt you some with Michael out of there because he can really go into the board so well. But, of course, Brad Sellers, who came in for him, hit a big shot to tie the game to be able to force an overtime. So that's worked out quite well.
In overtime, a final. Denver squeaks it out over Houston tonight, 128 to 127. 125, 124. Sonics lead the Bucks, 33 seconds remaining. Dale Ellis up to 40 points in the ball game. His career high, 49 points. And Ellis and company will come out onto the playing surface now. It'll be McMillan and Ellis at the guards. McDaniel, McKee, and Sellers along the front line. Del Harris will send out Tony Brown, along with Jack Sikma, Ben Coleman, Alvin Robertson, and Jay Humphries. Tony Brown to bring the ball in bounds. 7-foot Brad Sellers jumping in front of him. They get it into Alvin Robertson. Good shooter outside. He bumps it over to the far side to Brown. Nice lob pass inside Coleman. Plants his feet, double teamed. He goes up. Wild shot. He hit it. He had 4 people on him and managed to levitate above him and drop in a soft right hand. 17 for Coleman. 126, 125. The Bucks by 1, and the Sonics have one last chance with 24 seconds remaining in the triple overtime.
Well, you know, it's so crazy what happens in this game sometimes. And Coleman just playing an incredibly good game off the bench for the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, he's been a thorn on their side on both ends of the court. And there it certainly looked like they were in serious difficulty, and he was able to pick the ball up and get it up. The only thing you wonder is whether or not he was in there for 3 seconds because he worked to get position. Then by the time he got the ball and was knocked loose, there's a lot of time ticking off of the clock. But obviously that was not the case, and now the Sonics have plenty of time to still be able to pull this one out.
Knicks tonight over New Jersey by 2 at Madison Square Garden. 126, 125. The Bucks lead by 1 with 24 seconds remaining in the triple overtime session. Mentioning Coleman, 5 for 5 from the field, 7 of 9 from the line, 17 points, 7 rebounds for Coleman. And don't forget the block shot that he had on Xavier McDaniel, who was wide open beneath the hoop. He got all ball on it. That was after the that was at the tail end of the second overtime.
Yeah, we lose track of it. He's simply overtime.
That was a game-winning shot. If X puts it through, possibly a game-winning shot with about 4 seconds remaining.
Right now for Seattle, they have to go ahead and execute their offense. Take whatever they can get whenever it appears, because you don't want to try and go for the last second shot. Because now it's a situation where you either win or lose, and you sometimes want to give yourself an opportunity for perhaps an offensive rebound with this scenario existing right now. But there is still plenty of time left for them to do something, and then you put the onus back on the Milwaukee Bucks. But this has been a very exciting ball game, and with the strange things we've seen happen so far, who knows what might take place in this final 24 seconds.
And our radio crew are thanks to Brian Learned, engineer, Dave Geyer, our network coordinator, Kim Ackerley, our producer tonight on television, Jim Ross and Bob Leibchuck in the truck tonight, directing and producing the television end of our simulcast. With 24 seconds remaining in the triple overtime session, Bernie Bickerstaff's ball club will have the leather, but not the lead. 126-125 on the inbounds. McKee is pummeled as Sigma goes after the ball and puts it out of bounds.
Bernie's upset because somebody's got to come to the ball. I mean, they took forever before somebody even made a move to go to the basketball.
126-125, 23 seconds remaining in triple overtime. McMillan gets it in deep to the corner to Ellis, covered by Robertson. Outside it comes to McDaniel. Jabs right, takes it left, backs Brown down. Nice pass inside Ellis, posts up, gets up, ball stripped out of his hand by Alvin Robertson. Controlled by Coleman. Bucks basketball around. Seconds remaining. Robertson reached in. McKee reaching in to draw the foul, and it'll send Robertson to the line. With 8 seconds remaining, 126-125, the Bucks lead here in the triple overtime section.
Still plenty of time, Kevin, because now they have to get them to the free throw line. They have to knock the free throws in, and there's still a chance for the three-point shot to be able to tie the ball game should they make both free throws. But again, we've seen a lot of free throws missed in this ball game, and they very likely could have the same thing happen. Well, now they're saying, I guess, that what? They're not in the penalty? That they're not in the penalty. They're going to get the ball out of bounds over here. So now I'm sure that what Del Harris is going to do is have the ball inbound to somebody like Jack Sigma or one of the really outstanding free throw shooters, knowing full well that he doesn't want to get it into the hands of that the foul is going to come, not to get it into the hands of a poor free throw shooter. And again, we looked up here. It looked like the team foul had shown that it was going to be into the penalty, but I guess that was not the case. So now it shows Seattle with 4, and the next one will be the penalty.
Only the first foul in under the 2-minute mark, and so the Bucks will have to execute in order to win the ball game here. 126-125. They must get an inbounds pass.
Well, it's still plenty of time. Again, you get the ball inbound. If you don't get the steal on the inbounds pass or the 5-second violation, you have to foul the first guy that does it. But what you do, and I'm sure Bernie's talking to the guys about it now, is you got to definitely overplay Sigma, keep the ball out of Sigma's hands, try to force them to let somebody who's going to be open, is you let a guy who's not a good free throw shooter be the guy perhaps coming towards the ball, and then you go for the steal. If not, you got to foul him immediately. And then there's still time for you to get the ball back, and depending upon what happens at the free throw line, you come up with a play.
They were tied at the end of regulation at 103. The end of the first overtime at 110. The end of the second overtime, 120. And it's 126-125 now in the third overtime session.
You know, I'll tell you, I can't remember seeing a game that so many balls were knocked out of guys' hands close to the basket without the officials making foul calls. Just seems that the Sonics have had that happen to them at least a half a dozen times, and then in some very crucial situations as well. And normally, you know, that's a reach in trying to go for the ball. Generally, the officials don't allow those to go very often, and there's been a very high percentage that have gone in the Bucks' favor.
And Alvin Robertson that time had the steal on Ellis. Tony Brown to get the ball in bounds. It's deflected out of bounds, and it will be Milwaukee basketball. I'll tell you, Jay Humphries sprinted into forecourt, and it looked like he was open. McMillan was about a stride behind. 126-125, 7 seconds remaining in the triple overtime. They stack at center court. Now they race for the ball. Sigma gets it inbounds. Can't foul him. They do.
Again, see, you got to overplay Jack. You can't let Jack be the guy to get the ball, and that's who they were looking for. But, you know, he hasn't missed a free throw all season long, and this would be a great time for him to miss it. And he's not exactly infallible. You remember a big free throw last year in the playoff game that he missed against Atlanta. So it's not inconceivable that Jack might miss one here, although not being a betting person, I mean, I certainly wouldn't want to bet on it.
Second last year in the NBA, 90%. A year before that, he was #1 in free throw percentage in the NBA. He is 15 of 15 on the year. Came in 9 of 9 from the line. He's at 6 of 6 here tonight.
Now, unfortunately, Derek McKee is out of it.
Keep fouling out, and Olden Polonese now moving in for the Sonics. McKee tonight, 24 points, 12 rebounds. Big night for Derek. 126-125. The Bucks lead by 1. With just under 6 seconds remaining in the triple overtime. Sonics still have a chance to tie it should Sigma hit both of them. He missed it. Oh my! It rimmed right out of there. Jack will get another one. Holy smokes. Sigma with another one. If he misses, the Sonics have to get the rebound, have to call the timeout. Sigma hits. The Sonics call the timeout. Sigma now with 14 points, a string of 15 of 15 from the line on the season. Snapped as Sigma misses a big toss.
Well, of course, what that does now, though, is just gives the Sonics an opportunity to go ahead and not worry about going for a three-pointer and just running a good play on the inbounds play and getting a chance to go to the basket where you can get a chance for a three-point play, get fouled, or what have you. So that makes things a little easier. And with 5.4 seconds to go, that could certainly happen. It'll be interesting to see if Del Harris comes out and defends him at half court with Humphries playing off the ball, waiting to pick up somebody cutting to the basketball. They've done that, and they've actually come close to causing a problem for the Sonics as far as getting the ball in. Normally, I like to have a guy all over the passer. I, as a passer, loved it if a guy wasn't guarding me and somebody dropped off, because now you just stand there and you wait and you see when somebody gets open, you have the luxury of being able to survey the situation to make the pass and then call a timeout if you want. But when you have a guy up on top of you, don't have that luxury. So I just think that now they have to get more people coming towards the basketball because they haven't been sending many people. And you've got to get the ball into somebody's hands and a chance to maybe go right to the basket with somebody spotting up for a dish off if you don't have the lane.
Sonics take on the Chicago Bulls November the 18th. Call now for your Sonics ticket packages. Sonic representatives are standing by at 206-281-5800. The Sonics will be taking on the Chicago Bulls on Saturday night. Be with us for that one. That ought to be a beauty. Dale Ellis has had a big night tonight with 40 points. The Bucks free throw shooting in overtime, 6 of 11. Sonics 10 of 14. This is the third overtime session. 127 to 125. Just under 6 seconds remaining in the game. Rick, who's the hot man at this point? You'd think Ellis, but the last time they moved it low to him, the ball was stripped out of his hands, and here comes the rookie Dana Barros now on.
Well, because of his great quickness, hoping that he can get the penetration perhaps that's necessary to get to the basket and then have people to dish out to. You've got three guys who can hit the outside shot. You've got McDaniel, Ellis, and also Sellers. And I would imagine they might try to get Dana Barros the basketball and put him in a tough situation, but he's got a lot of poise for a rookie. And if he gets it, I'm sure Bernie said, go to the basket. If you got the shot, take it. If not, look for somebody open. Now, see, Dell does put somebody up on the ball this time.
Yeah, after the officials at midcourt were conferring, that gave the Bucks enough time to make the alteration, and that's what Bernie Bickerstaff is chatting about with Danny Crawford, saying, Danny, when you two met at center court, that gave Del Harris enough time to bring Sigma up to pressure the basketball, and that changed the course of his strategy. Bernie is keeping mad. Del Harris, meantime, is directing his crew. He wants to bring Jeff Grayer up off the bench. Grayer not particularly tall at 6'5". Let's see, he will pressure the ball now as they bring Sigma. They bring Sigma to the bench.
But I wanted to have good, quick, mobile players out there on the court. Jack's certainly not as mobile as Grayer.
And Bernie will counter by sending Olden Polonese now into the lineup. 127-125, the Bucks lead. 5.4 seconds remaining. Sonics will have the ball at midcourt. They won't allow Polonese in, will they? They should. And now they will. As Olden now will come in for whom? Dana Barros on the floor at 5'11". McDaniel out there along with Ellis. Now Sellers will come off and Polonese will stay on. McDaniel, Ellis, Barros, Polonese, McMillan. Here's the inbounds pass. Sonics down 1. 6 seconds remaining. McMillan gets it into Dale. On Robertson. Beats him on the baseline to the glass. Lays on. Good! He laid it up and in! Sonics have tied it at 127 all. But 3 seconds remaining in the ball game.
And Harris complaining to the officials saying that Nate ran on the sideline, and it certainly looked like he might have taken a couple of steps to get the angle to make that inbounds pass. Dell had good reason to complain. The only bad part about it, Kevin, is the Sonics did that so quickly, they're giving Milwaukee 2.2 seconds to have a chance to pull this one out.
I didn't think quickly enough, though, Rick. I really didn't. When Ellis had it on the baseline,
you got to do it.
Jab step on Robertson. I thought, holy smokes, he's not going to get a shot off. But he made that one extra move that counted. He improved himself. Robertson didn't want to overcommit and send him to the line.
He lost the ball. Was what happened, and he tracked it down. He almost lost the ball, and that's what helped him. The ball went, fortunately, when he lost it towards the basket, which made him take that extra step. And again, in this situation, you can't be that concerned about the clock. You take whatever you can get when you can get it. As I was saying, unfortunately, there's still 2.2 seconds. I'd rather have seen 0.2 seconds up there, because 2.2 is a lot of time.
What a strange game. You have Jack Sigma moments ago with a chance to put the Bucks up by 3 at the line with 2 shots. And he blew the first one, snapping a string of 15 to 15
Humphries is an 80% shooter, missed 2.
Humphries missed
another
2
overtime
in that second overtime session.
This has been just a really interesting game. As I say, in the NBA, always expect the unexpected, and then you're never going to be all that surprised. But even then, you'll still get surprises like we've seen here tonight. And again, still plenty of time left. And, you know, I've never done a 4 overtime ball game.
Well, I certainly haven't, and I'll have to check the Sonics record book to see if they ever have. I'm sure they have in the 23-year history of this ball club. Gone into 4 overtime sessions. It's a rarity, and you're seeing it tonight on our simulcast. Well, we'll see if they go into the 4th overtime, because the Bucks have 2 seconds remaining. The ball game is tied at 127 all, and because it has been such a strange ball game, and because Rick Barry has forewarned you to expect anything, obviously the Sonic fans are on the edge of their seat. Olden Polynice looks over at us, gives us a wink. Olden, get up on Tony Brown and pressure that inbounds pass, big fella, and he will. Tony Brown right in front of him. See if we can reach out and grab Tony Brown by the arm. 127 all to score. 2 seconds remaining. Inbounds Jack Sikma. He gets it. He bobbled it. Game is going into the 4th overtime. Sikma had the ball poked away and then kicked it away, and at 127, the 4th overtime session. We have no breaks remaining. We'll keep it here, and Rick Barry, I'll just drive you to the airport for that flight at 6 in the morning from our ball game here tonight.
It's okay. This is fun. It's worth it.
It is 9:16 on the Pacific Coast, and it's 11:15 here in Milwaukee, and many of the fans have seen enough. 14,102 scurrying for the exits. That's surprising.
No. I think everybody's getting up because they have to probably go see a man about some business. They've been sitting here a long time, Kevin.
Well, the Sonics have Dale Ellis leading them with 42 points.
And I'm sorry that I brought that up, because now I'm thinking about something myself.
and Ricky Pierce with 36 points leads the Bucks, but Pierce with that career high has been on the bench. He fouled out. Roberts has fouled out. Cage has fouled out for the Seattle Supersonics. We're going to go to the 4th overtime session.
This has been fun. It really has been. We've seen so many incredible things happen, and that's what makes the game of professional basketball such an exciting sport, and why the popularity of the game has increased so tremendously over the last several years, not only because of the great job that David Stern and his crew have done as far as marketing the product, but the product itself is an exciting one to watch. I mean, we've seen more incredible, exciting things happen here in this ball game tonight than you see sometimes in a month of baseball games, and certainly not as many as in football either. So that's one of the reasons I think that the fans love it. Plus, you're close to the action, and it's just fun. It's fun to even be a spectator. Having played it, it's still fun to watch.
And it's one of the reasons that the NBC television network this afternoon put about $600 to $650 million on the table, and the NBA said, "Thank you very much. You have the rights to NBA basketball beginning next year." And that'll be interesting for the players, Rick, because the figure I heard today was an average now of $1 million a year next year per player, based on the 53% gross formula. $1 million a year for these fellas.
Well, I mean, you figure out that there's going to be $150 million or more available, and it was only 43 last year. That's $100 million extra, so that's a lot of dollars. 53 million back into the players' pool.
The Bucks' last 3rd overtime game was back in '82 when they played San Antonio and lost. This is their first 4 overtime ball game. We'll check on the Sonic stat for you. I'm not sure they've ever been involved in a 4 overtime game, to be honest. 127 all. Sonics have the ball to begin the 4th overtime as they win the tap. McDaniel will bring it outside of McMillan. Left-hand side of the key, covered by Gerald Henderson. Henderson leading on. McMillan over to Ellis. Long pass for Dale. Good. He nestled it in there. They're going to call it a 2-pointer. He just did get it off inside the 3-point mark.
Well, the odds have got to be in the Sonics' favor. 4 straight times they've gotten the lead to start the overtime and have not been able to pull out the victory.
Now some defense. Henderson covered by McMillan. On top to Robertson. Picked up by X. Down low. Brewer swings up the right hander. It goes. Randy Brewer got it on the low blocks. It's almost automatic when he gets it inside that deep. 129, 4:12 to go in the 4th overtime session. Here comes McMillan, left-hand side of the key, covered by Henderson. Over to X. Raises, fires, 20-footer, skips off short, followed by Ellis up and in. Dale Ellis with 46 in the game. His career high is 49. 131-129. Guess who we'll be talking to if the Sonics win this game in the postgame? 3:51 remaining. Robertson headed the key, open to the jump shot. He nailed it. Robertson knocks it down. 24 for Albert. 131-131. 3:41 remaining in the 4th overtime session. McMillan covered by Henderson. McMillan with a left-hand dribble, looking over the right shoulder. Coleman fell. Actually, Greer fell. That opens up X on the inline. Picked up jab now by Coleman. Coleman hooks him. 8 on the shot clock. In comes X and is fouled. He'll go to the line for 2.
And Grayer fell because X crushed him. Threw a forearm shiv at him and knocked him down. Now Coleman going at it a little bit with Polonese, but wisely they get apart. Now let's watch on this replay. Now watch the X-Man on here. You're going to see the Sonics get away with a break here because he definitely fouled Grayer. Well, here we're going to see the last play as he's coming across. That was the X-Man. That was after he had gotten the ball. And there you see the reach in and the foul. No question about that one. But prior to that, for the X-Man to get open, he committed a foul. No doubt about it.
And a technical foul has now been called, I believe, on the Houston bench. No, it's on Ben Coleman. It is on Ben Coleman. Technical foul. Oh, did I say Houston? Harris was with Houston, of course, coaching in '81 when he took him to the finals. I met Milwaukee, of course, and Gary Harris has now been in his 3rd year as the head coach. And to the line goes Ellis and rolls in the free throw. Thanks, Rick. You got me on that one. 47 points now for Dale Ellis on the technical foul. It was on Ben Coleman. Now, X-Man to shoot free throws.
Now we need these to go in because you want to get to that 3-point advantage because the Bucks not the most proficient 3-point shooting team. And that odd point can make a big difference. They've not been able to get themselves to that point.
X with a big night, 33 points, 13 boards, and he knocks in that free throw. 34 for McDaniel, 133, 131, 3:27 remaining. Sonics in the entire overtime sessions, or actually X for the game now, 10 of 17 from the line, and he drops 2 big ones here. 35 for X as he hits the second one. Sonics pressure the inbounds pass. They drop Henderson. Henderson skip passes out of it to Coleman, who hands off neatly to Robertson. 134, 131. Sonics by 3 in the 4th overtime. 3:18 remaining. Coleman with the ball far side. High post to Brewer. Tapped out of his hands. Brewer chases it to the sideline. Double teamed, and we've got a foul called. Oh, my. It'll be on Sellers. Push on Brad. And I believe that is 6 on Brad. It is. That hurts the Sonics. And I'll tell you what, Brad has played some outstanding defense here tonight. Brad will go to the bench. Sonics will bring in Sedale Threet. Threet to replace Sellers. Polonese on the floor, along with McDaniel, McMillan, Ellis, and now Threet. Henderson to get the ball inbounds to Jeff Grayer.
Sonics have a size disadvantage now.
Grayer with it out on top. Polonese muscling Brewer outside. Henderson playing peekaboo on a switch. It's Polonese on Henderson. Nice drops inside to Brewer. Tapped out of his hands. Saved and bounced by McMillan, but right to the white shirts. Grayer with it. Tapped away from behind by Threet on a lunging play, but a foul call on Sedale.
Well, that was great hustle on the part of Sedale Threet that time to keep the ball alive. To keep the ball from being laid in easily. We'll watch again on this entire action. It's a penetration. X-Man in good position. It's thrown inside. Brewer has it stripped away that time by Nate McMillan. Then Nate tips it back in. And unfortunately, the Sonics couldn't track it back down. And then you saw the great diving play on the part of Threet. And that's only a foul to get the ball out of bounds for the Bucks. So he saved 2 points there with that hustle.
2:54 remaining in the 4th overtime. 134-131. Great play by McMillan and Threet. They team up on that defensive play. Grayer with the ball outside. Grayer over to the near wing to Robertson. Stolen by Ellis in a foot race. He'll challenge Grayer to the glass. He shovels it up and off, and a foul called.
Boy, defense has done it right here, Kevin. The guys have come up with some big plays throughout the 4th period in the overtime.
Foul is on Jeff Grayer, and Dale Ellis now will head to the stripe.
I have to say overtime. Going for the 4th.
This is the 4th overtime session. Ellis with 47 points unofficially. Let's check with our stat man, Mike Faulkner. Ellis's toss it is good.
Got to keep the defense on again here, Kevin. Don't get complacent if you're up by 5 points with 2:45 to go. That's still plenty of time for the Bucks to come back.
Unofficially, Dale with 49 points as he hits both free throws. 136, 131. Ellis has hit 3 very big free throws in the 4th overtime. 2.5 minutes remaining in the OT. Sigma 3. Oh, he got him back in a hurry. Sigma nails the 3. With 2:27 remaining in the 4th overtime. Sonics lead of 5, trim back to 2. 136 to 134. McMillan with it out. High, right-hand side. Grayer all over it. Picks up his dribble. Over to Ellis. He comes with 10 on the shot clock. With 9, with 8. Ellis is yet to put the ball on the floor. Does now. He kicks it. 5 seconds on the shot clock. McDaniel fires a shot that goes short. Sigma the rebound. Out to Grayer. Works his way to the paint. Picks up his dribble. Double teamed out to Humphrey. 136-134. A minute 46 remaining in the fourth overtime. The Sonics with a 5-point lead. Sigma came down, nailed the three, and then the Sonics just simply did not execute on the offensive end, Rick.
Well, no, they didn't. And what happened, they got caught into a one-on-one situation with Dale Ellis out high and Robertson on him, and that's not the way that you want to be set up to go for an opportunity to get your lead back up again. But you have to credit Jack Sigma with a big shot. What happened there, the Sonics made a switch, and they switched the small man over to Jack, and Jack was able to shoot it right over Sedale 3. Well, we keep this up. I'm afraid Bernie's liable to come over and ask me if I want to play. I don't know.
Or me, that's even more.
Yeah, Sean Kemp, of course, has not seen any action in tonight's ball game, and I doubt if we're going to see him unless some more fouls happen, but I don't think that's going to take place. 1:45 to go, and Seattle has an opportunity to still do some damage here to the Bucks with their defense.
Dale Ellis has tied a career high tonight with 49 points. X-Man with 35 and 13 rebounds at last word, and McKee fouled out with 24 points and 10 rebounds. Pierce has been on the bench for some time. He fouled out, I believe it was in the first overtime session. It occurred so long ago, I don't remember.
Well, it's been about an hour and a half since the time. I think it's 10 o'clock, I think, when this game was supposed to be over.
There's now 9:27 Pacific time. And here in the East, in the Midwest, I should say, it's 11:27. There are still fans in the stands. 14,102 showed up tonight, including that young lady.
I'll tell you what, X and Dale and Nate have played a lot of minutes without getting a chance to get a whole lot of rest.
Sonics lead by 2 with a minute 45 remaining in the fourth overtime. The Bucks will have the ball to get it inbounds. Sigma handling. Hands off to Robertson. Checked by X-Man outside. Robertson has the ball poked away. 3 to the foot race. Robertson closes on it. 3 to the glass. Blocked from behind. Oh my golly, what a block by Alvin Robertson from behind.
That is just great athletic ability and hustle on the part of Robertson. Here's 3 down the breakaway. Now watch Robertson there in the middle of the screen. He's the second guy. He just goes ahead and blows by Brown. There's the layup. Sedale goes up, gets the ball high over his head, allowing Robertson to come and get him. And those kind of plays, what you must do is you must extend. You know that a guy's tracking you down. You can't just go straight up and go vertical with the ball high over your head. What you do is take off and extend, keep the ball out as far in front of you as you can, knowing that there's no way somebody can come over your back to make them block.
But Threed had a good three-step lead on Robertson at midcourt, and Robertson closed quickly.
Yeah, and the fans claiming here that it could have been traveling on the part of Sedale 3, and it looked like it might have been very close to that as well. But again, that's hopefully a lesson learned by Sedale. Let's take a look and see if indeed they have a reason to call for the traveling violation here. He picks up his dribble right there. 1, 2. Yes, it is. That is traveling. No question about it. The fans are absolutely correct. That should have been traveling. There was no question about it.
The fans just got the replay that we got, and now we might have a brouhaha going on up in the stand. I mean, these fans are hot. That's a big, big play, and Sedale Threed, as you can see on the replays, Rick told you, did walk to the ball. Mike Dunleavy's out there to chat with Bernie Fryer about it, but to no avail. The Sonics will take it, leading by 2 at 136-134 with a minute 32 remaining here in the fourth overtime session.
Told you there was a lot of strange things that can happen in these games. I mean, we've seen so many amazing plays in this ball game. This has been a lot of fun.
Well, the Sonics did play 1-4 overtime game. That was back in 1982 when they lost to Atlanta 127-122. That was in February of 82. There have only been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games ever in NBA history that have gone to 4 overtime periods.
Yeah, they're beating things to death there, showing that replay a bunch of times to get the crowd into it.
Sonics will bring the ball inbounds. 136-134. Seattle leading. A minute 26 to go here in the overtime session. Dale Ellis with a career-high 49, trying to get open inside. They give it to X. Turnaround baseline pop from 10. Left it short. Rebound smothered inside by Coleman. Sonics lead by 2. The Bucks will drop back offensively with a minute 12 remaining. Humphries with the ball, glides over to the far flank, covered by Sedale 3. Sonics need a big play here. They're up by 2. Plenty of time. A minute 4 remaining in fourth overtime. Brown open on the wing. Will take the long jump shot. He filled it up. Tony Brown, T. Brown with 8 points. Sonics will call a timeout. 136. 58 seconds remaining in the ball game.
Well, let's ask our statistician to find out the timeout situation right now, as Brown has hit 3 for 3 in the overtime to be able to help the Bucks cause. And again, you just never know what might happen from players coming off the bench. But the Sonics again jumping out to a nice lead here in the fourth overtime period. Got it up to 5, only to see that frittered away and back down to a tie ball game. And now you've got a situation where the Sonics should, if they use the clock judiciously, come up with 2 possessions to perhaps 1 only for the Bucks. If they use the clock and use up most of the clock, unless the Bucks come down and took a very quick shot when they had their possession, it should be 2 possessions to 1, unless of course we get some fouls. But right now with 58.9, there's just plenty of time to go. The Sonics just have to continue, execute offensively, execute defensively.
There have only been 2 games to extend past 4 overtime sessions. And both of them are history. I mean, distant history in the NBA past. Indianapolis, then known as the Olympians, played the Rochester Royals in 6 overtimes back in 51. The Anderson, I believe they were called the Packers at the time, took on the Syracuse Nationals in 5 overtimes, but that was back in 1949. There have been now in NBA history a total of 8 4 overtime games, including tonight. And the Sonics have been a part of 2 of those 8 4 overtime contests. They lost the first one in 82 against Atlanta. Let's see what happens here tonight. Dale Ellis has been the hot hand, tying a career high of 49 on 17 of 35 from the field, 13 of 15 from the line. He has 8 rebounds. 136. Sonics bring it up. McMillan across midcourt. Covered by Tony Brown. Nate McMillan in a holding pattern on the near point. Holiday's coming at the screen. He has to hold his ground and not foul. He does. McMillan over to Ellis. Springs, fires, misses short. They stop the rebound. Humphries has got it. Jay Humphries with the rebound. 38 seconds remaining in the game. In the fourth overtime, we're tied at 136 all. Jay Humphries with it. Bobbing and weaving and moving laterally to the near side under the guard of 3. 3 shadows and Humphries on top to Sigma. Pass inside. Tapped away by Ellis. Picked up by Brown. Kennedy! Banging and scoring! Brown in overtime. 4 for 4. Tony Brown with 10. And a timeout call. The Sonics' final timeout with 21 seconds remaining in the fourth overtime. 138-136. The Bucks lead this game.
Kevin, that was outstanding defense. I mean, Brown fortunate to come up with the opportunity to make a very difficult shot, and that's what the game's about. I mean, that's going to happen sometimes. But still, 21 seconds ago, plenty of time for the Sonics to be able to get a good opportunity and tie this ball game up. But boy, if they missed a golden opportunity in this fourth overtime period, getting up 5 points with 2:45 to go in the ball game. But again, it wasn't because they made a lot of silly mistakes. Sigma hit a big 3-point shot with 3 right up on top of him. Was able to shoot it over him. And then we've just seen them not be able to execute real well here as we look at the score by the quarters here and with the overtime scoring going on. But that now, see, they missed somebody like a Derek McKee being in the game, or of course a Michael Cage. They don't have the luxury of having a real good inside player unless they try to post up, with the X-Man or with Ellis. But then again, you've got some bigger people who come in and cause some problems for him. So a lot of their offensive firepower is gone right now.
4 overtime sessions here at the Bradley Center in Milwaukee, along with Rick Barry. This is Kevin Calabro. 138-136. The Milwaukee Bucks lead by 2 points. The crowd has been here for a while, hasn't it? It is now 10:35 out here.
They've got their money's
got 4 hours.
They got their money's worth tonight, didn't they?
A 4-hour affair between these two, and it now boils down to a 2-point Buck lead on their home floor. The Sonics have lost 6 straight here to the Bucks in Milwaukee. 21 seconds remaining. Crowd on their feet. Sonic basketball. McDaniel will bring it in. Seattle down by 2. McDaniel to McMillan. The Sonics with 1 more chance. McMillan on a switch, covered by Cole. Over it goes to Ellis. In the air. He got it! Dale nails the jumper. We're tied at 138 with 11 seconds remaining. Ellis with a career high. 51 points in 11 seconds remaining in the fourth overtime. Bucks basketball, and unfortunately a lot of time.
Well, yes, there is a lot of time, but again, the Sonics have played some outstanding defense, and no reason why they can't do it again. Dale was upset on that play because he felt he was hit on the arm, and I'll tell you, if he complained the way he did, having been in that situation myself, I guarantee it, he was hit on the arm.
Ricky Pierce, the leading scorer still with the Milwaukee Bucks. He hasn't played since that first overtime session when he fouled out. He has 36 points, but he's shackled to the bench.
And you know, the thing about it is, it has been unlikely people who have been able to keep the Milwaukee Bucks in this ball game.
Ben Coleman with his 17 points. A big block on the, correct me if I'm wrong, the second overtime session on a wide open break by Xavier McDaniel.
I don't know, I'm getting confused here.
Tony Brown. T. Brown, they call him T-Bird. That's what the players call him here in the fourth overtime session. Hit for 3 for 3 from the field. Brown with 10 points. Xavier McDaniel with 35 in the ball game for the Sonics. Polonese, McDaniel, Freak getting set to come in for the Sonics. The Milwaukee Bucks will have Alvin Robertson along with Jay Humphries, Ben Coleman, Tony Brown, and Jack Sigma. We are in the fifth overtime session. 138. They'll crank up the clock. 5 minutes worth of action here. It'll be Polonese and Sigma. No, it'll be Polonese and Coleman to jump it up now. They station themselves around the circle. Here's the Cavaliers controlled by the Bucks. The Bucks get possession to begin the fifth overtime.
Well, maybe if the Bucks score first, that'll work against them.
Might. Can't hurt. Sigma over to Robertson. Down low to Coleman. On the baseline. Shot off by Polonese. Good play. Out to Brown for a three-pointer. Test his luck. Missed it. Long rebound. Caught by McMillan. Ahead to the racing Ellis to the glassy goat. Another block by Robertson. Oh, my, what a beauty. It comes out to Humphries. Cross court to Sigma. To the inline to Brown. Back to Sigma. Into the lane. Pump fakes. Glides by. Pushes up a shot. And McDaniel with a goaltend call.
You have got to extend and keep the ball in front of you on a breakaway with a guy tracking you down. You just have to do that. And we've seen Alvin Robertson make 2 great plays because the offensive players helped them.
140 to 138. Sonics have the ball back. Ellis a 3 in the air. It goes! Dale with 54 in the ball game. Ellis hammers into 3 and the Sonics lead by 1. 141 to 140. 4:11 to go in the fifth overtime in Milwaukee. Robertson over to Sigma. Out high on the wing. Ball tapped away by McDaniel, and Humphries hustles after it to catch it. Shadowed by Freet, left of the key, over to Sigma beyond the three-point stripe. McDaniel all in chest to chest. Sigma to Brown. Rocker steps right, takes it left, and reaching in is McMillan with a clean slap of the ball, and they call a foul.
And that is absolutely right, because you and I had a perfect angle on there. He got nothing but ball. If he was calling it for slapping on the arms, that was not a good call, unless he had his hand on the body a little bit to give him a shove. With all the slapaways that took place in more critical situations under the basket, to call that one was not right.
141 to 140, 3:53 to go in the fifth overtime session. Bucks to bring it in bounds, they do to Sigma. Sigma covered by X. On top to Robertson, plants his feet, fires along with it, he nailed it. Alvin Robertson with 26 in the ball game. 142 to 141. Bucks lead it by 1. 3:39 to go in the fifth overtime session. McMillan carried by Tony Brown, out wide on the near flank. Polonese rolls out the screen. McMillan circles over, left of the key, looking for 3, breaking open at the near side. 3 to the mismatch, outside with Sigma on him, with 4 on the shot clock. Pulls up, fires a jumper, he got it! Sedale knocks it down, and the Sonics take the lead back. 143 to 142. 3:15 to go in OT number 5. Robertson pumps it into the key to Brown. Over it goes to Sigma. Backs down to X. Turns, spins to the back. Goes one up and good. You know, that's the first time that they've established Sigma down low here in any of the overtime sessions.
You're absolutely right. He's been outside passing the ball.
144 to 143. Bucks lead by 1. 2:53 to go in the fifth overtime. Ellis with the ball over to McDaniel. Open on the near wing. Won't take the jumper. 8 seconds on the shot clock. X waits. Backs down. Picks up his dribble to 3 for 4 on the shot clock. His jumper's good. Sedale bangs home another one. Sedale with 10. 145 to 144. 2.5 minutes remaining in the fifth overtime. Robertson low to Sigma. Backs in. Spins by X. Foul in the act of shooting. Basket count. Here's foul. Sigma goes to the line.
Well, I tell you, see if he traveled on that again as Jack is going to make the move inside. Here he goes. He's established the pivot foot now. One step, fakes it. Now watch him take the other step and go off the left foot. That's traveling.
You're right. It's also history as Sigma goes to the line. 7 of 8 tonight. An excellent free throw shooter, but he broke a string of 15 of 15 this year on a big miss a moment ago in the third overtime, and he missed this one. And he goes after the rebound and nearly took out the entire Sonic bench. Last touch by Sigma, out of bounds. Sigma shaking his head. He can't believe that he's missing the free throw. He's missed 2 tonight. That's a rarity. 146 to 145. The Bucks lead by 1. It will be Seattle ball with 2:25 and out. Del Harris. Let's see if we can get a shot at Del Harris. Well, it might be too late.
Del Harris, that was amazing. He came out on the court to try to get this crowd up on their feet to cheer for his team. He came right out in the middle of the court, not quite at half court, to try and get the crowd into this ball game.
Del Harris is rather vocal in his criticism of the Milwaukee fans when they only put 15,000 in this 18,000 seat venue, the Bradley Center, brand spanking new here in Milwaukee. Harris felt that they should have had a sold-out crowd on a Tuesday night when the Boston Celtics and Larry Bird came to town. Especially in light of the fact that they lost to Brooklyn in Boston and won on television against the Philadelphia 76ers leading up to that home opener. So the crowd obliging Dale Harris on their feet. The Bucks with a 1-point 146 to 145 lead. Plenty of time left here in the 5th overtime session.
Yeah, no strategy to talk about here. I mean, you just got to keep executing on both ends of the court. See what happens as we go down to the last 2:25 of overtime number 5. Again, we just see so many things happen that we don't expect. I mean, who would have thought that Jack would have missed 2 free throws in this ball game? One of them a very critical one. This one, not necessarily as critical.
Frank Furtado attending to Nate McMillan and now Xavier McDaniel on the bench. Spraying some spray on the knee that will actually cool the joint. And then Furtado, the trainer, will rub the left knee of Xavier McDaniel, preparing his man for yet another Sonic trip up the floor. And a key one, 2:25 remaining in the 5th overtime. Sonic's down by 1. 126, 125. Nate McMillan cleanly across midcourt, covered by Tony Brown. McMillan twists his way down the near sideline. The Sonics stack up off the ball. Down low it's Ellis, battling Robertson as they haggle all night long. Down low Ellis, beats Robertson. Robertson reaches in, talks it free. Robertson gets it back, leads a break. Cross-court pass deflected by Freak. Out of bounds. It will be Milwaukee ball.
Well, how many times are they going to let Alvin just go ahead and reach in and do that and never call a foul out?
Exactly. 146 to 145. The Bucks lead it by 1. Bucks ball with 2:04 to go in the 5th overtime. Inbounds to Sigma. Takes it to the inline. Backs on X. Outside to Robertson. Open for the jumper. Not this time. Dale Freeman rebound. 1:53 remaining in the 5th overtime section. 146 to 145. Sonic ball. Freeman far flank. Off the Nate McMillan screen. Double team. Back to Nate. Open off the wing. Takes it to the inline. 9 on the shot clock. Back outside to Sedano. 7 on the shot clock. Nate with the ball. He'll have to shoot it with 4. Down low to Ellis. He's fouled inside. Finally, a foul inside low. This one either on Brown or Sigma.
They only had 4 guys around in that time. You think he drew a little traffic?
Foul will be on Tony Brown. That is the first on Brown. They're going to call it a shooting foul, and Del Harris looks toward the heavens and says, "Why me, Lord?" 146, 145. Ellis, who has a career-high 54 points, will head to the free throw line. Ellis, 13 of 15 from the stripe tonight, with a minute 33 remaining in the game. The Sonics can take the lead. They won't. Ellis missed the touch. They can try it. He made it. Ellis with 55. We are tied at 146. 146. A minute and a half remaining in the game. Ellis with a career-high 55 points. Brown open on the near flank. Won't take it. On top to Sigma. They roll it outside to Jay Humphries. Humphries right-hand side of the three-point stripe. Over to Robertson. Far flank. Robertson covered by McMillan. Chest to chest. Out to Humphries. Behind the Sigma screen. With 5 on the shot clock to Brown. He's run his string up. Robertson will go to the line with a chance at 2.
Well, I tell you, right here, Dale Ellis had the ball and just got raked right in front of us. And he just let Alvin Robertson do whatever he wants. Now watch the missed shot. The long pass. Robertson's, now watch here. Ellis comes in, he's got the ball. Look, right on his arm. He grabs his arm and pulls his arm off the ball to get the steal. That's just absolutely horrible.
They're going to call a breakaway foul, and Robertson will go to the line. Robertson with 26 points tonight. The Bucks lead it 149, make it 150 to 146. 56 seconds remaining in the 5th overtime. Robertson Cooley sinks both free throws. 28 points for Alvin Robertson. And a big three-pointer hit by Tony Brown just moments ago. Brown will bring it inbounds. Bucks lead by 5. Still time for the Sonics. But they have to get the ball back. 53 seconds remaining. Humphries, a good free throw shooter, 80%. Ellis all over it. 47 seconds. Where do you foul, Rick?
No, you don't. You don't. I don't think you foul here because 5-point differential, you got to play the good defense. The clock would have run down to the point where you still could have gotten 2 possessions, and you could still not get a 3-pointer and a 2-pointer. I don't think the foul was smart there.
So Jay Humphries will head to the stripe. In the overtime, he is 0 for 2. His shot is up. He looked like he short-armed it, but it rolls in. Humphries with 10. 6-point Bucks lead. 152 to 146. 45 seconds remaining in the ball game. Jay Humphries will get another one. He can ice it. 7-point lead. Milwaukee. Timeout. Seattle. 5th overtime. 45 seconds remaining.
Well, it was a killer, I'll tell you right there on that play, because Dale had the interception. That would have put him at the free throw line with a chance to cut it to a 1-point deficit with plenty of time to go. And it's just been incredible to me to see what these officials are allowing Alvin Robertson to get away with. I mean, this guy has reached in and done things defensively, and I admit he's a great defensive player, don't get me wrong. And he can do a lot of things like that, but you can't do that many without fouling somebody once in a while. And we had a great replay here to show how his arm was hooked. He pulled Dale Ellis's left arm right off the ball, and that's why the ball popped free and he was able to get it. The official was right here and didn't make the call.
And then I felt anyway, a questionable call on the breakaway foul, Rick.
Yeah, well, yeah, that just compounded the problem. And then how many times did he reach in down underneath and they let him reach in and get away with it? And then when the Sonics and a guy like Nate McMillan does one, they call the foul on him because he doesn't have the great reputation.
153 to 146. A 5th overtime session with 45 seconds remaining. What do you think?
Well, what bothers me more than anything else, and this will be the last time I'll belabor the point, is that to have a game as exciting and as incredible as this game has been, to be decided by that type of a play is really, it's unfair to the players, it's unfair to everybody involved with it. Right now, of course, you get it in bounds, you've got to go ahead and go for the 3-point shot, or if you can throw it in and get a quick 2, you do it, but basically you need a 3-point shot. Then you've got to play good defense, come up with a steal, if not foul them, hope that they miss, and then continue to try and go for quick opportunities, making baskets. With the clock stopping after each basket, that's the only way that you're going to have an opportunity. It's really remote, of course, right now.
Danny Crawford, Bernie Fryer, Joe Borgia, the officials tonight. The Bucks have outscored the Sonics 7-1 since the 2:25 mark of the 5th overtime session. Sonics down 7. They'll bring it in bounds. 45 seconds remaining. Need a shot immediately. He's got a 3-pointer. Coleman laying off of him. Max will take it. It skips off. Coleman got a piece of it. Comes off the glass. Robertson with it. Inbounds to Brown to a breaking Greer. Ball game over. Greer lays it in. 33 seconds remaining. 155-146. Barrows for the ball outside. Hands off to 3. Sedale right at the key. Back to Dana. Got to take a 3. Dana will. Looks good. It is. Dana Barrows buries the 3-pointer. But not enough. 23 seconds remaining. 155 to 149. Sonics trail here by 6. 20 seconds remaining in the 5th overtime. Greer across midcourt. Over to Robertson. Lunging in as McMillan to time up. And they're going to give it to the Seattle Supersonics.
Yeah, now they call a foul on Robertson.
Foul on Alvin Robertson, getting the Sonics to the line with a chance at 2. And Robertson is out of here. He fouls out of the ball game unofficially with 28 points. And 2 very, very big blocks in the overtime. One of Sedale 3. and 1 on Dale Ellis. The second, a questionable block that might have been whistled a foul. Sigma will check back in for the Milwaukee Bucks as Robertson goes to the Pine. 155 to 149. McMillan to the line with 16 seconds remaining in the 5th overtime. Max shot up. It is off the mark. Nate with another opportunity. It's up. It's good. McMillan with 8. Sonic pressure the inbounds pass. Down 5. 16 seconds remaining in the 5th overtime. Sigma double team. Gets rid of it. Stolen by Barrows to the glass. He'll lay it up. He missed it. Rebound X. Steps up. Rolls it up. He missed it. Ball free. 3 will shoot. He hit it. 5 seconds remaining. Sonics down by 3. 5 seconds remaining. Sonics down by 3. Did I say it was over? Excuse me. I was wrong. It is not over. The Sonics have a chance. A slim one, but a chance nonetheless.
That one free throw instead of missing the first one, then it really would have made it interesting because now you only have a 2-point deficit, and then you can go for the steal on the inbounds or get a 5-second violation, and then if they miss one of the free throws that they would take, you still have an outside chance for the 3-pointer. But with 5-1 to go, you got to foul and hope that they miss both of them. So that free throw was indeed very costly, and they wasted a lot of time because if Barrows could have made that shot, that first one, that would have had another 5 or 6 seconds or more on the clock, and then unfortunately X-Man missed the easy one, and so it took a lot of time off the clock, and had that not happened, you know, that would have made things even more interesting than they are right now. But it's just, again, such a shame to have seen this game decided on a play that should have gone the Sonics' way, because anything would have happened then. It would have been down to basically a 1-point game with Dale going to the free throw line and plenty of time left. And, that's tragic.
A 3-point Milwaukee lead, 155 to 152. 5 seconds remaining. Milwaukee will bring the ball inbounds. And the strategy here, I suppose, is to pressure and stay with your man as much as you possibly can, Rick, and hope for the 5-second call, as you pointed out, or hope that the Bucks try a long pass to a sprinter and maybe overthrow it out of bounds.
Right, or you can pick off the inbounds pass and get a steal right away. But then again, you have to foul immediately if you don't come up with a steal. You cannot afford to let any time run off the clock. I don't know what the timeout scenario is here. I don't know. We've got it right in front of us. Whether or not the Sonics have I don't think they have a timeout left.
According to the board here at the Bradley Center, the Sonics have one timeout left. The Bucks have 2. Sonics will pressure the inbounds pass, trailing by 3. 5 seconds remaining in the 5th overtime session. Brown covered by McMillan. They sprint for the ball. Sigma. Oh, goes into the hands of 3. They've got a timeout. He didn't call a timeout. Oh, my. He had the steal and started up the floor. The ball is tapped out of bounds. Whose ball will it be?
Sonics.
With an 1/8 of a second left. Ricky had the steal but didn't call the timeout at midcourt.
Well, I think he felt that he had an opportunity to break down the court. I don't know whether he was thinking he was going to stop, pull up, and take the 3-point shot or not. But yes, the timeout could have been wise. But once he saw the opening, he might have thought he had a good opportunity there. So Bernie now going to have to come up with a play to get a 3-point shot. Where the ball is not exactly the most advantageous place to have it to go for a 3-point shot. Watch the play again. The long pass, like you said, they threw it too long, tipped away. Ellis tipped it over to 3. He tried to go by. It was reached in there. There's a reach in. That was like a bit of foul easily. Fortunately, the ball continued to go out of bounds, and it'll go back to Seattle. But that could have been a foul on the reach in. And that, of course, wouldn't have helped the Sonics causes all that much because it's only 2 free throws, but still plenty of time would have been left on the clock to make something else exciting happen. But they have a chance now. They've got to, of course, make the inbounds pass to somebody in 3-point range. Desperation shot. It's not going to be very easy with, and I can guarantee you the timer this time will have a very fast clip on the clock.
Let's pause 10 seconds for radio identification on the Sonics simulcast broadcasting network. The Sonics have come from 7 down here in the 5th overtime session, outscoring Milwaukee 62. Outscoring Milwaukee 6-2 in the last 45 seconds of play. The Sonics have surmounted a 7-point Bucks lead when it seemed like it was over. The Sonics now have new life. And for the life of me, Rick, I still don't understand why Threet didn't call the timeout when he had it in backcourt. Firm possession.
That would have been the thing to do, obviously. It's academic now. They have a one desperation chance.
They've got to get the 3-pointer off to tie it in the 5th overtime.
It's a tough angle to get it into any place worthwhile.
X gets it off. In and rimmed off the backside on the inbound pass. The 5th overtime is over. The Sonics had a chance at it. Xavier McDaniel throwing up the 3-point shot.